Okay. All right. I think we're all back online now. So, I think Glenn just dropped out. All right, here, hang on. I gotta pull up my chat. All right, how's everybody doing, guys?
Doing good.
Don't get awesome. We got Glenn and Steve. I think Steve's gonna have to dip out here in a second, but
I'm gonna eat lunch first.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know. I invited the regular cast of characters over here, so anyway, yeah, we'll just kind of continue from John's channel. So, if there's anything you guys want to talk about or anything like that, let us know. Hey, Jory, you want me to send you a link? You want to pop back in here, bud?
Yeah, that was the first time I actually got a chance to hang out with Jory.
Yeah, Jory's a great guy, man.
Yeah,
but he's, I haven't got a chance to talk to him much, even myself. So, yeah, okay, awesome. I'll send you a link here, Jory.
I hope you guys don't mind me trying to manipulate this food into my mouth with this surgery stuff going on here. Tell you, the hardest part of this is there's no pain, there's no real pain or anything. It's learning to redo everything because you're so used to doing everything with your right hand.
Hey, Steve, about a month ago, one of my customers broke both of his arms racing, and he showed him in the hospital bed with cast, from almost the top of the shoulder all the way down. I said, besides being out of work, your wife's probably have to take off work, or you're gonna have to get home health care. Somebody just to feed you 3 times a day.
That would suck.
Your arms are out like this, on cast. That's bad.
I'm just so thankful. First of all, that it's only one arm, and that my wife is here to help me out. Because I don't know how I'd be a mess without her.
Awesome. So who all we got in here right now? Larry Lafferty. Who else we got? What's that? The Fluky? That's a new one. Nice to see you. Where are you from? I'm totally butchering your name. I know I am. It's either the Flunky or the Fluky. I'm going with the Fluky. Where are you from, if you don't mind? CJ Gordon, Diane Matthews, Tracy Uniquely Me, Sam Kinnison, awesome. Craig the Landshark Picker. I think Craig's out running errands, but I think he's going to pop in here in a little bit. Michelle Lathan, awesome. The Incense Shop, awesome. Ray Shippins. That's the worst tongue twister. Shipping Sunshine. Awesome. Okay, the Fluky. All right. It's okay. You got to give me a little background on your name there, the Fluky. What's that all about? Is that just like a nickname? Is it tied into something you do? Is it what? I'm actually kind of curious. So I love how people come up with their usernames and stuff like that. I know Justin when he did it.
Did you read it yet?
I know Justin when he did his show earlier today. He had 2 Hip Chicks on there. Dawn from 2 Hip Chicks, she was on there, and he asked her how that she came up with her name. So yeah, I always like to find out how people come up with their names.
I was born with mine.
Really? That's crazy.
Well,
I would have never. I would have. I just assumed that was a pseudonym, Steve. I really didn't know.
Yeah, when I was signing up for my PayPal account, it said name whatever, or So I said,
okay.
I'm in Louisiana, swamp, and I'm a picker.
Right.
Everybody else was, so I picked that name.
Yeah. Okay, so the Fluky says it's a name he came up with that means to get things by chance versus a skill. Awesome.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's great. See, we all learned something. How you doing, Kat? Nathan Eddings, Erica Norton. Awesome. Great. Southern Draw Gal. Oh, yay. She finally caught me alive. Gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. Listening and watching. I enjoy your content of what's else. Gee, thank you.
Very useful tool. Box resizer.
What's that?
Box resizer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Box resizers. Those are great.
You got to make a smaller box smaller.
All right.
There's Jory.
Jory will pop in. Oh, yeah. I'm anal. I end up I gotta have everything look nice and neat. I don't. It's a curse. Believe me, guys. It's a total curse.
The monk syndrome? You understand what the monk syndrome is?
What was that, Glenn?
Monk syndrome.
No. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, where it's basically like like OCD essentially.
I was moving a piece of furniture and I had to rule around one day. Don't pull a monk on me.
That's funny. Yeah, sometimes it feels that way. I know it drives the wife crazy sometimes. Like, why do you gotta be like that? I don't know, it just happened. Shrink this down. Forgot how doing these stinking hangouts, man, they get like, I got a total mess all over my desktop now. I'm trying to organize everything. Okay. All right. Cool. So if you guys got any questions or anything, just put like an @ in front of at least my name if you got something directed to me, so it'll at least highlight and I can get to it, or someone can at least shout it out if I'm up moving around. But I'm
put a question.
Like I said, yeah. Well, yeah. It's better if you just kind of direct it at us, because then, like I said, it will at least highlight it on my end. So yeah, or like I said, yeah, question mark works too. But yeah, like I said, we're all just trying to work here a little bit today. I don't know, have any of you guys, any guys in the chat had any good sales already this morning yet or not?
Nothing this. Oh, I sold a DVD for like
Nice.
$9, which is actually pretty good for a DVD.
0 on eBay today, but I have 3 on Amazon.
Nice. Yeah, I got 2 on eBay and both of them have not paid. Driving me crazy.
Lovely. I hate that.
See, it doesn't bother me at all.
I know it bothers me, but yeah, I mean, I say it doesn't, but deep back, it does, because like I said, I mean, eBay is eventually going to kick in and do the non-paying bidder thing. They'll eventually pay, but it's frustrating.
I would guess that when the new payment system's fully integrated, there will be a system in place for that.
Yeah, I think it'll be more like Poshmark system then. To where, if you commit to buy, it's already got your credit card information, everything. So yeah, you'll just get that automatic payment. That's the thing that I love with, especially with Poshmark, man, is, that, like I said, if they send you an offer, it automatically has their credit card info. And if you hit accept, boom, you have your money.
Which is kind of nice. But I set my eBay up so that it automatically goes through the unpaid item case and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then it'll relist after a certain. I set it and forget it, kind of.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, Tommy, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to pop in here, bud. I can send you a link, or we can get somebody to send you a link.
I still think it's more beneficial to keep best offer on your items, because most of the best offers I get are pretty doggone reasonable. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have a lot of people trying to low. I know it. I hear it all the time. Oh, they're just trying to lowball you. I don't get a lot of that. On occasion,
right?
On occasion, but for the most part, all they're trying to do is save shipping.
Can you really blame them for lowballing? Because I mean, it's what a lot of us do when we buy stuff anyway.
Sure. I mean, everybody's looking to get the best deal. Yeah. I had someone actually sent me an offer on a hat yesterday. I had listed for $30, free shipping. They sent me an offer for $5 free shipping. Really? You honestly think I'm going to take that? I mean, what in your mind would possess you to think I would take that? I mean,
so what did you do? Okay. Did you counter?
You know what? On that one, I didn't even counter. Normally, I would. Yeah, I mean, even if it was $10, I probably would have countered. You know what I mean? Because 10 is not. I don't want to say it's not insulting, but it's like, well, you know what I mean? Even with free shipping, but it's like, okay, it's at least but $5 free shipping, I could barely ship it for $5. I mean, right. you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to cost me $3.63, you know what I'm saying? About $3.60 to ship it anyway. You know what I mean? No, I'm not shipping you this hat for, it makes no sense at all. So that was one that just went to the auto decline, you know what I mean? Or not auto decline, but I mean, I just declined it. I was like, you
can set it up to auto decline. I don't.
Yeah. I don't either. I don't because I've had a lot of, like I said, like if that would have came in at $10, that may have turned into a sale. You know what I mean? I might have maybe came back at 20 or something, and maybe 20 was acceptable or what have you, you know, or even depending on how long I've had it. If I've had it for a year, I might even take him $15 for it. So if he gave me 10, you know what I'm saying? At 15, we're really not that far apart. You know what I mean? So, but, or even, you know, like I said, time with best offer is a big factor with me. A lot of times if I've had it for a year or depending on what it is, you know, I'm definitely willing to take far less for it than what I would. You know, I mean, it's just like, just get it out of here. I really don't care.
I hear you there.
Some of the low balls turn into sales too. They offer you like half as much. You counter with a half decent one, and they still accept.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, you know, I mean, we got some for $30, and you know, they offer you 5 and free shipping. No, you're just wasting wasting my time. You know, and I don't like to be.
You counter, and then they go $1 higher. I just ignore them after that.
After that, you're totally wasting my time.
I have a rare CD that I have listed on eBay. And it's a $30 CD all day long. And the guy offers me $8 for it, free shipping. And I came back at like 20 or something. Then he offers me $9. And so at that point, I declined the offer. So then he comes back at $9.50. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm just going to let this sit here. And I never responded to him after that. But I still went through the process to you know, because I think I've had those really super low ball offers actually turn into sales. I just think they just want to see how low you're going to go.
Yeah, the lowest they can get it from.
Or how desperate you are to sell that item or whatever. I don't do it every time. There are times that I just auto decline, but not auto decline, but immediately. But generally, I try to respond to every offer.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a mood thing. They'll send a low ball offer and just catch me on a shitty day, and I won't even counter it. I'm like, you decline.
Screw you. But then they might catch me on a day where I just walked past that item, noticed it was in my inventory for a year, and I just want it gone.
Stub your toe on the same thing that's been sitting there for a month, then you get an offer that's a little low, and you're like, yeah, I'm done with this thing. Take it.
Done.
Sam Kinnison said, buy free, sell high. That's hard to do now. The dumpsters are all empty now with Steven's stuff on the hustle.
Oh, they can't get all the dumpsters.
No. A lot of the dumpsters now around us, because my wife likes to do a little bit, and she wants me to start filming her a little more, but now that it's winter and it's what have you, excuse me, I'm not going out there, but we've started noticing that there's some places now around us that are actually locking them. So I don't know.
You got to check your local laws too. I think here it's technically illegal.
I live in Illinois, so I mean I think it's legal, and we've actually had the police roll up on us. Well, I shouldn't say it was police; it was actually a security guy. He did roll up on us at one place we were at, and she was in the thing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm looking for candles." You know, she's just got one of the personalities, so she could pretty much talk her way out of anything. And you know, it just, so I mean, he was like, oh, okay. He goes, well, just don't make a mess. But I mean, you know,
that's generally what you're going to get, even if it's not legal in an area. But I mean, still consult your local regulations. But now here, if it's out on the tree lawn, you know, like somebody puts out the garbage, it's fair game. But dumpsters aren't. So. And I think it's probably more for a safety issue for the dumpsters.
Here, as long as it's not locked or behind a locked fence, you're fine to pick through dumpsters, e-waste bins, even the stuff sitting outside of a donation bin. As long as it's not in the locked bin, it's completely fine. As soon as you go into a locked dumpster behind a locked gate here, then you're charged with trespassing.
Right. But now if it has a gate, but it just has like one of them little like bolt things, but there's no padlock on it, and you open that and go in, is that considered okay or no?
I do, but I call that a gray area.
Okay, because we actually have an area that my wife goes to, and it's it's where our it's where one of the Game Stops is. It's all behind a locked. Well, it's not locked. It's just like it's that gray area. You know where, but it's kind of enclosed, and then it's got kind of like a barrel bolt type of a latch, and she'll open it, and then she'll go in there and she does her thing. And
my Goodwill's like that too. And I've had cops show up at night.
Mhm.
Hey, what are you doing? And I'm just picking through the garbage. And as long as you're nice and you're not, it doesn't look like you're throwing shit out in the garbage.
Yeah.
They tell you, you know, don't leave a mess, and they carry on, or they sit back a little bit in the park.
If you don't act all guilty when they roll up.
Yeah, if you know you're not digging through like this and running away when you see them.
Yeah. Oh crap! What am I gonna do with this beer? Oh no.
Yeah.
Y'all see the video of that guy digging in that dumpster where, not the dumpster, but the Goodwill bin?
Yep.
He
did.
Did you look?
Yeah.
I knew where he was at as soon as I saw that sign in the back. Did you recognize the sign in the back?
The funny thing is, he sorted through the stuff after he was done, and was putting stuff back in there. So he wasn't like just steal. I mean, he was stealing, obviously, but he starts sorting through all the clothes, and whatever he doesn't want, he puts back in the bin.
Yeah,
At least he was being sorely
It said penthouse.
Nice.
Whatever. If you're that desperate, you need to do that.
It's a
Go
strip
head
bar.
first into a locked bin like that. I'm not gonna say anything to you.
Yeah, you got bigger issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we seen someone at Walmart stealing a bunch of milk, and then they stole diapers too. My wife's like, "Do you see that?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna say a goddamn thing."
Yeah, you know, at least they weren't taking. You know, it'd be different if they were taking cigarettes or they were taking something else. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you got kids and you really need to steal milk and diapers, you obviously needed to take those. You know
Shit,
what I'm saying?
I'll buy them for you if it comes.
Exactly.
Like, you know, like it's not.
Yep. Exactly. That's kind of how I am with things. Yeah, it's like if it's, you know, I had a buddy the other day ask me, he's got a really bad gambling problem, and he actually asked me the other day. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Can I borrow $100?" And I'm like, going, "What do you need $100 for?"
Yeah,
because I knew we had just got paid, and I was like, you know, I go, "Do you need to pay a bill or you know something like that?" And he was like, I go, "Dude, do you need to pay a bill? Do you need to pay a bill or do you need some food?" I said, "I'll give you $100 for that." And I said, "I'll just go with you." And I said, I'll take care of it." Well, I go, no. I go, "You're not gonna go put it in a machine somewhere." I go, "That's not gonna happen." But I said, I'm more than happy to take it. You know, I'll help you pay a bill or do something like that. But it's like, well, I'm not gonna help. I'm not gonna feed your addiction.
Yeah, not gonna feed an addiction. No.
No.
Hey, sweetheart, we might have to go to the warehouse store today. I just found a product. I'm sorry.
Nice.
We have, I mean, I've talked about it on Scott's channel before, but we have a warehouse store, which is, they get Amazon returns and Walmart returns and things like that. But they daily put up pictures of the stuff that they have in the store. So I'll go through their pictures every day. And
Nice.
I just found a product that looks like it's pretty decent on Amazon. So
Nice.
And I just got ungated, like I said earlier, in like baby diapering, and so they put a lot of that kind of stuff out.
Wow. So the Fluky asked me, where do I dumpster dive? I don't dumpster dive. That's my wife's thing, but she likes she'll dumpster dive at like all the crafty places, you know. She likes those sort of things like Bed Bath and Beyond, you know, but we got to go out of the area for that. Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, you know, those sort of places. What's the other one? Not Bed Bath and Beyond. It has all the candles. Bath and Body Works. I know she likes that one a lot because they're always throwing out candles and crap, and I don't know, just you know, places like that in general.
I don't dumpster dive, but I used to, you know, we called it curbing or whatever, you know, get stuff off the side of the road when I was doing flea markets. Man, did I make a lot of money doing that back in the day.
Yeah.
But you got to have a lot. I mean, you got to have storage and sort through stuff. And I just didn't like doing it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that's her thing. And I was like, you know, fine. I've gotten more comfortable with it, but man, she's not afraid to hop in there, and you know. And I was like, I don't know. We just have two different theories on that, but
I'm not opposed to it.
No. I've got way better with it.
My wife used to hate it. I'd pull over on a busy road back when I did scrap metal. I'd be loading up washers and dryers. She'd be like ducking in the seat because we were in some shitty old 91 flat black Dodge Dakota, and I had it straight piped. And...
Yeah.
Lonnie's shed's being delivered as we speak.
I've seen that post. That's exciting.
I think it's way better for him in the long run. It'll be cheaper.
Oh yeah.
He'll have the stuff right there on his property. He doesn't have to go anywhere.
My wife and I talked about that because you can here they have sheds like that too that you can, well, you basically finance them. They're a rent own, and they're a little expensive. But at the same time, when I was paying for storage, I go, well, the shed I own in the end, the storage, I'm literally just throwing away $250 every month. There's no, like, I'm not getting anything out of it other than storage. I'm just lining someone else's pocketbook.
Right.
At least with the shed for the same price, you end up with something.
Well, how many months of storage unit fees do you pay to be able to afford that shed? So
probably not that long.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that long. I don't know what Lonnie's paying for a shed, but a year or two.
Yeah. It's crazy. I used to run a storage place. Most people after 6 months would surpass the value of what's in their storage by the rent costs.
Well, I've been watching like Wade's videos and people who do storage unit videos, and it's amazing to me that people pay to store that stuff. Some of it.
It's junk. Half the time it's just junk. There's nothing even good.
But that's it. So many people are just attached to their junk. That's the thing. You just get attached to it.
It amazes me how many people store like food items. You know, they clean up, they move.
Oh yeah.
They move. They put a bunch of dry goods in a box, and then they pay to store that. What are you thinking?
Doesn't make any sense.
All right, guys, I think I'm going to have to get out of here for a little while. If you guys are still around, I'll come back in.
All right, Steve.
See you later. Nice chatting to you.
Hey, good to meet you finally, Jory.
Yeah, for sure. Likewise.
That's fun.
Andy, I'm going crazy. I used to be so organized and everything, but with the house,
right.
It's just a, it'll make me itch.
Yeah. I'm horrible about that sort of stuff, but it's just like I said, it's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? But I hate being all anal and picky about some things. But just like right now, I'm trying to wrap this stupid cord and make it look nice. You know what I'm saying? I should just put a zip tie. Just put a zip tie on it and just be done with it. But I just one of them deals.
Hey, shipping sunshine. Yes, I'm stripping computers to sell the parts online, though. The only thing I really scrap sometimes is the case if it's missing pieces and stuff. Or I'll use the case and I'll make something else out of it. I'll customize it, make a gaming computer. I sell a lot of built computers locally and then computer parts online. It's a lot of work, though. A lot of testing.
So how's the new place going, Jory?
Good. Well, now that we kind of know what we're doing, it's going
right.
It's weird working for a boss who's never done this and
right.
She's the owner, but she'll come to me and be like, "What do you think about me spending $8,000 to do this landscaping and signs?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't own it's not my $8,000. I don't own the place." I'm like, "I don't know. Do you like the signs?" So it was it almost gives you a bit of anxiety because it's not your money, but that almost makes it because you don't want to screw it up for the person that's investing all this time and money, right?
Right.
Like if it's my own money and I make the decision and I screw it up, it's on me. I'm out the money, whatever. I can only be mad at myself. So
right.
It's been good. I've learned a lot. I've learned a shit ton about antique malls now.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
So and I do not bad. I did first month like 550 out of my booth. December I did 700 out of my booth. I'm at about 580 right now, and I only have a little like 5x8 booth. It's not too big.
That's great. Now, what are you mostly selling out of your booth now? I mean, do you have like specific things or just random stuff?
A little bit of everything, but the theme's kind of more late 80s, early 90s stuff. Like I got some video game stuff that I don't want to put online. I don't get as much as I do online, but it's okay because it's less work. I just set it in the booth and it sells. So I do really good off like cassette decks and stereos and like that. We have a pretty good market influx of customers that like that stuff. And then it's nice to clear out things. Like I had probably 200 cassette tapes, all pretty good rock and roll. One's late 80s, early 90s rock. And I just put them on these holders in the booth. I put $2 a tape on all of them, and I'm down to like 10 left.
Nice.
Not a lot, but you get guys, they bring, 15 at once, and they're getting $60, $70 worth of tapes. So
yeah, that's not bad at all. I'd take it.
It helped get stuff out of my house, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that was the main.
That's the thing I that I always loved with Amazon is, man, I got so much crap out of here.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It all out,
like, I remember when I sent my first shipment in, and like I said, I don't do a whole lot of Amazon right now, and I should probably get back into it. But man, I'm telling you what, when I sent that first shipment in, I was like, oh, all this stuff is gone. I mean, it was like just a huge relief. You know what I'm saying? Just to have all that crap out of here. I mean, this is amazing. Just, I mean, even like, well, here, I'll turn my thing around again. But I mean, even like this, my cabinet of doom. Oh, I got all these games, and well, you guys can't kind of see it up there, but I mean, I got a bunch of games and other crap up there.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff just takes up a ton of space.
Oh, pain in the ass.
You know what I mean? And it's just one of those deals that I mean, God, you get all that out of the house, and it's like, I've got room to put more crap in here.
I did that with my board games. I filled the booth with all my board games because they take up so much room on the shelves, and you can't stack them nice. And I don't get a ton. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Some board games I get a lot for at the antique mall, but a lot of them, like a couple dollars more than Goodwill price. If it's a $3 Goodwill game, I got like $6 on the thing. Right. But I'm okay with that because a lot of that was stuff that sent back to me from Amazon. It didn't sell in the time frame I needed it to, and I'm okay to make $1 on it at this point, or break even just to move it out of my way.
Yeah, like I said, just to get it out of the house. Oh crap!
Damn it! I'm missing one of my boxes.
Oh, yeah, there's the other thing. I knew I had something else there I was going to at least photograph and get going. Amazing how much crap you start accumulating.
Doesn't take long. Right there.
Glenn must be working.
I guess so. Yeah, he's got the mic muted right now.
Yeah. I seen this. I think it was his mom pop. I seen her pop in the frame here just a little. I think it was
really?
On John's channel. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I haven't seen her before. I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, but.
I think today's supposed to be the most depressing day of the year. They're saying Blue Monday, isn't that today?
Is it really?
I think so. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't know why.
It's depressing for me right now until I get some fucking cash from some of these sales.
Yeah, no kidding.
Nothing worse than, like I said, making a sale than not getting paid for them. Like, are you serious? I do. It drives me nuts. And I know I shouldn't let it bother me, but
it's hard though, especially if it's like a big ticketed item that is going to sell fast, and then you're kind of like, well, like there's 5 other people that would have bought this and paid it away, and now I got to wait because sometimes I don't wait. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to relist it and take a chance, and so far I've been lucky with that. I don't suggest doing that, but
I wish Lauren was on here, or maybe somebody else. I don't know. If you guys that do Poshmark on here, because like I got a couple of my sales, and they're both like items that I have on Poshmark, but I haven't canceled them on Poshmark yet, or even taken them down because it's like, well, if they sell on Poshmark, but I don't know if I don't know how that works. If you cancel a sale, like if somebody buys something on eBay, but they haven't actually paid for it, do you get penalized if can you cancel the sale? You know what I mean? If they haven't actually paid for it yet?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah. I was just kind of curious. I mean, I don't know if anyone in the chat actually would know that.
I've never actually, you know what? I've never tried, or if I have, I never paid attention if it affected me because it's. But yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
question.
you know what I mean? If you take a ding for that or not, you know what I mean? It's like, well, they haven't paid for it, so I decided to, I was gonna just take it and cancel it. Yeah, I didn't. I have no idea. After 5 days, I think. eBay numbers 14 days no longer an option on returns.
Keep hearing the phone go off. I don't know.
Kelly, the Ecom Moms is what you put all your stuff on Instagram and Poshmark. Yeah, I think it's Why Not's Hidden Treasures. I think they put a lot of. I think I follow her on, and I know I'm friends with her on Instagram. I think they do that as well. They share a lot of their stuff on Instagram and Poshmark, or their stuff from Poshmark to Instagram.
I can see how that would work. I just don't have time for it.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's probably what I should do, Tracy. Yeah, I should just mark it not for sale before I take it down. That's a great idea. Yeah, the fluky. That part I totally get. Yeah, as long if the buyer cancels, that's one thing, or asks to cancel. Yeah, for sure. That's one thing. But if I would go ahead, if like I said, if someone would buy an item from me off of Poshmark that have actually sold on eBay, but they purchase using the best offer feature and they haven't paid, I don't know how that would work. Like I said, I guess that's where I'm afraid I might take a ding for something. How do I not have any zip strips down here? Normally I got bags. Normally I have bags of like those nylon zip ties all over down here. Now I can't find those. Right?
I gotta go get more. I'm running low. I usually have a little bag in my desk just for that. Bag of that and a bag of elastic bands.
Yep. Yeah, usually I always have but that's the thing is like my wife knows I have this stuff down here. Like all those little things. I mean, she even knows I've got like spare screwdrivers down here, and the next thing I know, my crap walks off, and I'm
They're
like,
all gone all of a sudden. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going, what? Yeah, what happened on my? I've got 3 pairs of scissors that are all gone. You know what I mean? Like just a little bit ago, I was looking for some D batteries because I always keep a spare stockpile of batteries. Yeah, my D's are gone. I was like, quit taking my stuff. And then, but the only time I didn't take it, I didn't use them.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Mm-hmm.
You probably moved it.
Yeah. Well, and that's thing is like the screwdrivers I have down here, they're completely different than all my other screwdrivers. Like my regular ones, I have DeWalt ones and Craftsman ones, but the ones I got down here are just some cheap ones I got from Menards. And yeah, I'll find them things upstairs. How'd those get up here? Oh, I didn't take them up there. I know what ones I would have used if it was upstairs. I would use my good screwdrivers. Always stealing my stuff.
Same boat, exact same thing.
So how's the little one?
He's good. He's 1.5 now.
1.5. Jeez.
He's a little bit of a late bloomer on walking. He's walking, but
all right.
He'll only kind of do it between us, or he'll start to walk and then he'll just get scared and stand in spot and want you to pick him up. So, but he'll get there when he gets there. House isn't done yet, so I don't need him fully walking and running around. Yeah, they go fast. It's crazy how a 1.5 years is already just gone.
Yeah, Michelle. I think mine is set up to do that already. I think it does the UPI case after 2 days automatically. But like I said, it's just frustrating. And even though it'll open a UPI, it still doesn't guarantee that they're going to pay for it. And that's the part that stinks. But
looking at a pinball machine right now.
Nice.
$300.
That's a steal, to be honest.
Like any pinball machine, it almost doesn't really matter what it is.
No, that's actually not bad at all.
I can screen share it on your computer.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you can get a pinball machine under $500, that's usually a pretty good deal.
I don't know if the people can see it, but there it is. Demolition Derby. Wonder
Awesome.
Wizard Demolition Derby.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's on like a Facebook Marketplace, or
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. It's
nice. Does it work? Does it say it's working or no?
Yes, yeah. I messaged her. She said it works great. So
Awesome.
yeah, she said it all lights up, everything works. She said there's a couple scuffs and things, but the glass isn't cracked or broken. I'm like, oh, that's the main thing.
Nice.
It's a 2-hour drive though for me. An hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's still not too bad. See, there you go. You can negotiate down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna come 2 hours, man. Chance I get like $50 off this thing.
I'm gonna try it anyways. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Kelly, the ecom mom, are you from Illinois? I thought somebody said that you were from Illinois. Thinking you might end up living somewhere close.
I seen the pinball museum in Las Vegas when we went 2 years ago. It was amazing.
That would have been really cool. Oh, Texas. Okay, I thought somebody just told me that you were from Illinois.
Oh, he's choking on my coffee.
But Fluky said he just picked up a working Sony Betamax, great condition for $20, hoping to clear 150 on it. Oh yeah.
Hell, I'd buy a broken Betamax for $20.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even
hard to find working nowadays. They're getting fewer and far between.
Yeah, we when Shane and I were out one day, I met up with him. We went. He found one in the box.
Oh way!
And I was like, yeah, he kind of went one way. He went off to, since we were together, we buy a lot of the same stuff. He kind of went one way, and I kind of went, the other way. I figured like, I'm not gonna step on his toes, and vice versa. And then I just figured we'll just cross paths, and I'm sure he's gonna find stuff I missed, and I'm gonna find things he missed. And all of a sudden, I see him heading off to go get a cart, and I'm like, going, oh man, he must have found something good. And I look over, and he's got 2 units, but one's in a box. And I was like, going, oh, what did you find? And he's like, dude, check this out. Yeah, he found a Sony Betamax player in the box, and I was like, oh, I go, that is great. And it was pretty cheap too. I think it was within that $15 to $20 range. And then it was really, really cheap. And then he also got another like a DVD VCR combo. It might have been like a Toshiba. I mean, it was a good one. So yeah, he found 2 amazing items. Just right out the gate. And I'm like, oh, you suck it. You gotta,
yeah. I love when it happens.
But to find that in the box, though, that was great. Hey, Bianca, how you doing?
Yeah, it's anything like that in the box is crazy. I found a Commodore monitor in the box too, a 1702.
Jeez.
The thing was beautiful, and that was an easy, quick $300.
Wow. And it wasn't yellowed or anything like that?
No, it looked like it spent its life in the box.
And the yellow, don't they?
Yeah, even when they're not. Oh, I don't have one up here. I thought I did. Even when they were new, they weren't that like really white color.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, I like them, that old stuff like that. Ray shipping. Why is it like the worst name for me to say? I just know right away I got his name was Ray, so at least I know his name's Ray. But then I always want to follow it up with Shipping Sunshine. It's like the hardest thing to say. So he's got an anime, like an older anime slot machine. Oh wow.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be worth some money.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, he said he's been trying to sell it for a year locally. Yeah, see, that's one of those things. Being anime,
it's more neat.
It is, yeah. You got to really, really find the right person. Like my daughter, my youngest daughter, the one that's going to college and stuff. Yeah, she loves all that anime stuff. And honestly, that's the stuff I know about anime. I know from her because there's like certain ones that she used to read and different things. So occasionally I'll run across something. I'm like, hey, I think this might actually be kind of rare or kind of odd. But yeah, it's finding that niche market for those items.
I do pretty good if I find anime stuff. If it's cheap enough, even if I don't know what it is, I tend to grab it. It's not something I find you do as good locally because I have some anime DVDs and books sitting in my antique booth more because I'm just kind of using it as storage to get it out of here. But you get the odd guy that comes in or something that buys a few, but most times that's an eBay thing for sure.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, I guess like even Pokemon probably
So,
falls
Ronnie.
in the anime category, right?
I think Ronnie's outsourced it, but Ronnie Hart just popped in the chat.
Hey,
Yeah, if you're home, Ronnie, go ahead and pop in, man. We don't links in their little group thing, so you're more than welcome to pop in here. Can at least entertain Jory for a while. So you kind of getting back in the routine now, then, Jory. Starting to listen again and things kind of calming down.
It was kind of one thing after the next, because like first there was the losing the job at the antique mall, or I mean at the storage facility, which was figuring that out. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take some time. I was like, I'm not gonna work for half a year, and I'm gonna work on the house. I'm gonna do my eBay, my Amazon. Well, Evan wouldn't go to daycare. The daycare we were sending him to, he would crawl to the door and he would lay by the door all day. He wouldn't eat. He would just cry all day to the point where he was like going blue. So like I started going to the daycare with him and spending like half days there, and he just he never took to it, which makes me wonder because we took him to a new daycare. He's fine. He loves it. When we show up, he laughs. He waves at the girl, dives into her arms.
There's probably something. We had the same situation with back when my kids. Both my girls are in their mid-20s now, but when my kids were we had one daycare that it was bad. Yeah, it just she would have a fit the moment we dropped her off, and then as soon as we picked, it's like all she did was cry all day. Like I think something was going on or happening there. And who knows? And especially when your kid can't talk.
Well, you can't tell you what's wrong, yeah,
and they can't tell you. So it's like you just have no idea. So it was just a lot of red flags, and I was like, maybe we should get her out of here, man. I'm like, I don't know what it is, man, but I'm just getting a bad vibe. If the kid's not happy, because we never had a problem with the previous one, and then we took her, like we started going to a different daycare, and everything was all good. So
it's the same thing. It's a little more out of our way now, and it kind of a pain, but he's happy there. So I was like, whatever. But then, so that happened. And then finally we get him in a daycare we like. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start getting into eBay and getting the house done. I got about a week into working on the house and doing eBay. Everything was going good. Wasn't planning on working again, and then got offered that antique mall job. And I'm like, well, I don't want to work, but this sounds like one of those kind of, just like the storage. I was like, I can't really pass this up because I'm working, but I have the opportunity to make money through the antique mall.
It's nice when stuff falls in your lap like that.
It is.
I mean, how you doing, Ronnie?
What's up, boys? What's up, Jory?
How's it going?
It's going, eh?
Yeah.
If it's cold where we are, it must be freaking cold.
Minus 10 Fahrenheit here without the wind.
Oh, baby.
We're probably about minus 15, minus 18 with the wind chill Fahrenheit.
I think with the wind chill, we might be that low.
You're close to the water too, so you'll get the cold air coming off the.
Yeah. I mean, it was when I came in, it was a high of. It says it's supposed to be 12 today, but it was my truck was saying 8.
Yeah. Oh, my car almost didn't start this morning. I went to drive my wife to work, and it did the wah wah wah. I'm like, come on, just start, you son of a bitch.
I was thinking about that too when I pressed the automatic starter. I'm like looking at it, and I see the lights light up. I go, okay,
it's I did it. And then I might have to. My truck's finally maybe gonna break on me. I think the transmission's going on it. Yesterday it wouldn't sit below 2,000 RPM, and then it wouldn't shift into third or fourth gear. I was stuck in first and second, and it was just.
What year's your truck? Because I think yours is the same. You got a Ford, right?
Yeah, 03 F-150.
I had an 04. My trans went out of mine. I had 160,000 on it. It was 166. The trans went out of mine. I lost second in reverse. And the guy that I ended up selling it locally to a guy, because it sat in my yard for about a year because it still ran great. And when the guy come to get it, he's like, I go, yeah, it runs like a great tape. I mean, it runs great. And we fired it up, and he's like, man, this thing runs smooth. I go, the only thing that's wrong is the trans in this thing. And now I see it running around town almost every single day because the guy owns a business in town that bought it. And, and the business is kind of like right on one of the main drags, but then he also lives like right next to my post office. So I see it all the time now, and it drives me crazy. And I'm like going, oh my God, I wish I still had that truck.
Well, I got, what is it in miles? I got about 245,000 miles on mine.
Yeah.
On a stock drivetrain. So I can't really complain. I got my money out of it. I'll probably put a train in it though, because I've oiled it every year. I just put brand new tires and rims on it and did the rear pinion seal and a whole bunch of $1,500 for a train. What am I going to get for $1,500 if I buy a car?
Yeah. See, that's what I was looking at. Is like going, I go, do I spend, $2,000, $2,500 for a trans for this thing? And how much longer is it? I mean, I took care of it. I knew what I did to it. I've had it almost the entire time that, I bought it almost brand new. And I took care of everything on it, but it was just one of those things. It was just like, man, I go, is this thing going to start nickel and diming me now? But then, then I go out and I start looking at trucks, and I was like, oh man, I can't touch a truck for under 20 grand with under 100,000 miles on it.
It's crazy.
I go, this is insane. I'm like, I should, I should just get the truck. And I'm like, you know what I mean? So, but
like the 4x4 works on mine. There's no ticks or knocks in the motor. It doesn't burn any oil or smoke. So
yeah, that's how mine was. I mean, mine it was mechanically sound, other than, like I said, the train, and we'd actually planned on getting rid of the wife's van that year. And we were going to, just get a new vehicle. And then all of a sudden, like I said, I was on my way to work, and I was leaving a stop sign, took out, and all of a sudden it just started winding out. And I'm like going, uh-oh. And then it caught third.
What?
After it revved up enough, and I was like going, this isn't good. Well, I got it all the way to work, and I go to back in the stall where, I normally park, and I'm like, uh-oh, ain't got no reverse. I'm like going, so I ended up looping around to where I could drive out. And I went in and told my boss, I said, trains just went on my truck. I'm pretty sure. I go, I'm leaving. And so I pulled into, we got the guy that has like a local garage shop, whatever. I mean, he's friends with the family, and the guy's had this place forever. I was heading down the road, and I just pulled right into his place, and he threw it on his machine, and he goes, you got no second gear. And he goes, reverse always goes. He goes, that's the first one. And I'm like going, okay. So he goes, you're looking at, he goes about, $2,000, $2,500, depending on, whatever. And I'm like, man, I go, do I want to drop $2,000 into this thing with 160,000 miles? And then, like I said, then I go out and I'm out looking for stuff, and I'm like, I start at, looking at trucks, and I'm like, I'm trying to stay under 20 grand. And I'm like, but I just mentally can't get my head around spending 20 grand with 100,000 miles on it. I don't care what it is. And I'm like,
in a year, you might be in the same boat too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like going, this makes no financial sense at all. None. And I'm like, so I ended up buying an SUV, and, it is what it is. But man, I miss my truck so much.
Yeah, I probably won't get. I use it too much, but I knew it was coming. It started with a little whine at first, and there's like a weird shudder between like 75 mile or 55 to 75 mile an hour. There's just this odd shudder, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like the rear end. We just did the rear pinion seal. The gears look good back there, and then now it sounds almost like a power steering whine when you accelerate, but it's coming right from the tranny, and so. I'm still driving. I'm just waiting for the one day I'm going to stop, just like you, and I'm going to go somewhere and be like, and there it goes.
Right.
I don't know how many of you guys have been on Facebook lately, but Lonnie just got his shed delivered to his house.
That's awesome. He'll probably be busy.
It's pretty good size too. Is it one of those pre-built ones?
Yeah. I think isn't it 15 by 25 or something like that? It's a big shed.
It's pretty good size.
I think it's like 30 by 12.
Yeah, that's what it's big. I seen what he put what it was, and it's not a small shed.
I want one, but I want something bigger.
Yeah.
30 by 30 shop with a roll-up bay door is what I need.
Nice.
I want somewhere to put my signs.
Someplace where you can display them, or you just want to be able to just stack them all up?
No, I hate stacking them up. That's a lot of them.
You buy them to display them, right? I mean, they're cool, so you want to show them off. Yeah. Exactly.
My wife is in charge of that whole. I don't do any of that because I'll put some in storage, and she's like, "No, they need to be seen." And then one will sit in the back of the truck for a month. One will sit just like against the wall. Another one or two will just sit over here. And then she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll sell one or sell two. Anybody interested? Figure out."
That's funny.
See what's going on. I've gotten into getting away from like freaking just selling it off though to I got this into it. Let me just sell it to move it on to somebody else. They can make the money. It's like, oh no. I'm making the money now. This ain't a little sign liquidation hotline. But I hate trucks, dude. Trucks. Oh, cars, freaking issues.
Yeah, I used to be a mechanic, and that made me hate them a lot too. I'll never go back to that. The only plus side is if the tranny does go in my truck, at least I can probably take it to a buddy shop, pick up a used tranny for $800, and I'll throw it in over the course of a weekend or something.
Yeah, I mean I was in the similar boat because I had a good enough friend that would give me a good enough deal if stuff went wrong, and but it's still costly. Like I've had a few engines replacing cars, and it's like, ugh.
It adds up quick.
But I mean, so there's a new freaking car payment too for 5 years.
Well, see that, and the wife has the new SUV because she drives the kid around a lot. So I wanted her to have, something new that keep her she's all right. I'll drive the beater, but I'm not gonna start paying fucking $300 a month to buy a new truck that's just a base model too.
300, dude. I paid just
not more. That's a very shitty truck.
I paid just the 7. And it's like I am counting off how many years I got left on this bad boy if I don't trade it in for a pickup truck.
Yeah, Casey's SUV is the same boat. It's like it's a lot. Well, it's a 2016 Escape. It's fully loaded, has everything, but you put so many K on it now. I'm like, well, we're kind of committed. We can't trade it in and get the value we'd need to get something else. I'm like, so you're kind of just shit out of luck. We're gonna drive it till it dies, I guess. I'm
lucky because I kind of bought mine. Well, it's bad and good. I kind of bought it at the end of the year, so it kind of has like that year of it seems like no driving.
Yeah.
But it's still like I put like close to probably 20 to 24 a year.
I drive.
Yeah, it's at 44
miles each way for work, so like I'm almost 100 miles a day on my truck. So
wow.
It backs up the K quick. And then that doesn't count all the driving around to places I go to source stuff. And
I miss my old truck. If I could get my well, I don't. I miss my Excursion. If I could get that in a diesel, I'd probably do it in a heartbeat.
It's so hard to find those diesel Excursions. I love those things with the big 7.3 in them.
It's expensive though. That's the problem. I mean,
they hold
find them clean. They cost the same price as they did new. It's like
with the rockers gone on it and 130,000 miles on it, and yeah, they're expensive.
I was like, wow, fucking for a diesel engine. And then every once in a while you'll see like the diesel engines in the Chevy Suburbans, like what I have, and it's like I watch them and they're like, yeah, we replaced the product that take on the extra weight and this and that, and it was like, it's like a freaking $25,000 thing just to put a different engine in the damn truck. It's like, holy shit, that's not gonna work.
No.
But this is probably my last new vehicle. Like last 2 cars have been new. I don't think I'll buy a new car after this though.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'm never getting anything new again like that. It's just try and save up the next time and plan on buying something.
I'll buy something few years used, but man, that the new.
Yeah, like 2 years old, pre-owned with 20,000 on it or something. It's basically still brand new.
Yeah, I realized it. It's like, what am I doing? It's like the same thing. Save yourself a lot of money. So I also got mine very cheap. It's hard to, you know what I mean? Because I got mine for like the price they had of a 2010 that was sitting on the lot with 70,000 miles. Yeah. But I have a kind of base model. It doesn't have too many. They only have like 2 models though. It either comes fully freaking loaded or
nothing.
nothing. It's like in the fully loaded model was like literally $17,000 extra, and it's like
What? Crazy for leather and some heated seats.
Fine, I'm good. I don't need a leather heated seats and a sunroof and a few like power options. I'm good. Just more things to go wrong.
More electronics to break.
I mean, whoever. The last time I had a sunroof in a car, I literally left that sunroof open a few times.
It makes it too windy in the car if you got a sunroof on the car. It sucks.
And it rained in the car.
Easier to break into cars with sunroofs.
People in the chat, I do 700 for a house. It's like where I am, you couldn't get a house probably for under. I would figure a mortgage would probably set you back $2,500 a month.
The closest big city to me, London, it's like $500,000 for a condo.
Wow.
Then you get condo fees and like they're nice new condos, but it's stupid.
Every once in a while, I used to watch that show, House Hunter, and they did a lot of them in Canada, and I was like always shocked by how much Canada was, like some of the prices they would charge.
Expensive.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, how the hell do people afford this?
That's why I bought a rundown house that needed everything. Because I'm like, I'm not paying $500,000 for a house. This is not going to happen. And I went this route. $65,000 for a house that we're now about $20,000 into too. $100,000 into a house. It's my mortgage is sweet dick all. And I'm probably about 1,900 square feet, 2 stories, 9-foot ceilings upstairs and downstairs, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So I can't wait to be done and just sell it though. I don't have enough property and I don't have a garage. So as soon as it's done, for sale signs getting pounded right in that front lawn.
You still thinking about coming to America, or?
I don't know. See how it goes. It's same kind of bullshit in either country. We're not too different, really.
Have to play some Neil Diamond for you when you do.
Yeah, there you go. CCNR.
All right, I gotta.
What does Casey think about coming to America?
She's the one that wants to go because she lived in Texas for years. She moved out of Canada when she was like 8, I think, and her mom moved down to Texas.
Oh wow!
For work for her mom.
Nice. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, flip-flops all day. Mr. Sadie. Oh my God, did you guys catch Mr. Sadie's video he did the other day? Oh my God, it was hilarious. Did you catch that, Ronnie?
I seen it with I
don't remember whose channel it was on. I don't know.
Justin.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how I caught it because I think I caught it by total fluke, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is the funniest thing I have ever."
He was like, "Review my video."
Yeah. Oh,
it is. I could just imagine him in his southern voice. Review my video.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I think I was coming home. Yeah, I was coming home from work. I was driving in the car. I was streaming it. So yeah, it had been on somebody's channel, and all of a sudden it's got Mr. Sadie's sitting there doing this like total like infomercial to buy his course. Oh my God, I about put the freaking car in a ditch, man. I was laughing so hard. That was the funniest thing. I had no idea that guy was. I mean, he's funny. He says funny stuff in the chat, but it's totally different when like somebody goes live and you can actually hear their expressions and the tone of their voice. It was just completely different, and I totally lost it. It was so funny. Mr. Sadie just said the signups are closed. That's too good. All sold out, huh, Mr. Sadie?
His group course.
That is too funny. Wow, we got 86 people watching. That's awesome.
I got a group course coming soon.
There you go.
Just hustle. Let's go out there and find shit. I gotta make a YouTube video. I keep forgetting. I got like a whole list of videos I want to make, and man, it's I don't know how like Lonnie makes them every day. It's like
I couldn't even imagine doing that. And I got kind of a little list of ones that I need to do because I get people asking all the time for certain ones, but it's just like, with my schedule and everything else, it's just like, I'd love to, but it's just and like the ones that you get the request for, those are the ones that you actually want to like do a good job on because people actually want to see that stuff. Yeah. It's not just something you're just slapping together. So it's like, okay, this one's actually going to take time. I'm going to have to do a little more editing than normal. It's going to take a while.
I think my last video was 3 or 4 months ago. Filmed some stuff, but it's just
yeah.
Or I come home motivated. I'm like, that's it. I'm going to do a video today. And then I have a beer and then I sit down. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh, my thing is just since the wife has kind of went back to work, man, YouTube is kind of just like it's down on the bottom of my list of things to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, you've been putting out quite a few lately, though.
Well, that was the thing. Since New Year's, I said I would try to be more consistent, at least put it out more regularly and stuff like that. But I have like a whole list of things over here. What happened was I had a list of literally like 40 different things I wanted to do with videos. And my wife somehow went through my papers like on my desk and thought it was like, oh, I'm going to dust your desk and clean it up. And she threw away like all different kinds of things I needed. She threw away like a bill. I was like looking for a bill. She's like, I don't know where that bill is. I'm like, our excise tax. I got to pay that thing. Where is it? I mean, luckily you just go down to the city hall or whatever, town hall, and be like, I got excise tax. You tell them, I forgot what you tell them your address, and they just pop it in and be like, oh, you owe blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what the hell?
Hey, guys, what's up?
How you doing, Craig?
All right.
Y'all all done playing Uber driver?
Yeah. It could be worse, I guess.
An Uber driver in our city just got in trouble because it was on film. Him having this girl was shaking her ass in front of his face while he was driving, and he was smacking it and grabbing it, and then he was making out with her, and apparently the video went viral, and he's getting in trouble.
Classic.
Yeah. I'm like, shit, maybe I should be an Uber driver. Young, hot, drunk bar ladies shaking their asses in front of this guy.
That's awesome.
I don't know if this is picking up, but I have never seen this much dust inside a fan. It looks like mud. Let's see if I can move the camera to it. Oh, it's all in there. Now it's kind of dark.
Do you just pretty much strip all the guts out of those things, then you just kind of sell them off?
Yeah, I sell the parts off them. I turn them on first when they're all hooked up, make sure they work. Right.
So like you'll sell like the power supply and all that sort of stuff on them.
Yeah, power supply, graphics card, motherboard, CPU. I'll usually leave the CPU unless it's like a really high end one with the motherboard and just sell it as a working combo unit. A lot of these are older machines, like older Windows 98 and XP machines, which you do pretty good off of actually.
Awesome.
Especially when they're basically free or are free. This one was free.
Right. So do you still have the e-waste hookup then?
Yeah. Yeah, I still got him.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not losing that connection. Even if I gotta, stack stuff for the time being, like I've been doing, because I haven't had enough time to list. I don't really want to put him as a connection now that I'm getting back into it. Well, now that I'm not every day at this antique mall, and I got my Mondays, Tuesdays off. Right. I can get a lot done on a Monday, Tuesday. The kids in daycare, wife's at work all day, so I can't. No one can really bug me.
Nice.
The only guy that bugs me sometimes is a farmer because he ain't doing anything right now, and he lives down the street from me. He's a buddy of mine. This is a slow time. What are you doing? Come drink some beer. Come do this. You can't do that all the time.
Nice.
Farmers, man, they make it seem like they're so broke and work so hard. All the farmers I know work hard for 3 months a year.
Yeah.
More money than I could ever dream of making. I mean, they have a lot of it invested into equipment and stuff like that, but like you could sell off all that equipment and a couple thousand acres of farmland and never work again. Your kids could probably never work again.
Right.
You'll make off it.
Yep. Yeah. My future, my stepdaughter, she's getting married here in June now, and her boyfriend, they're really, really big farmers. I couldn't even tell you how many acres they got. It's just a ton. And yeah, I mean, I know what their farm's worth, and I was just like, that is insane. They've got like 4 houses, you know what I mean? They're all paid for, you know what I mean? It's all tied into the thing. So, they live for free and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, God, that would be so awesome.
All their kids live for free because they could care less about the house they buy. They're buying a farm with a couple hundred acres to get the land. It's like, well, the land came with the house. It's not the house with the land. Like,
right.
That's why you see a lot of abandoned houses out in the country too, because the farmer they didn't care. They wanted the land.
Right.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Oh, we don't make that much money. I'm like, really? Driving $110,000 fully loaded diesel truck. You buy one every fucking year. You put farm plates on it, so you got no e-tests, no safeties.
You tell them.
I mean, you could never go be a farmer right now. If someone wanted to just go be, it's just impossible. You need to be in the family, and you either got to marry into it or have it left to you.
Yeah. And then they literally write everything off. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Yeah.
Welcome to the life of a reseller, too.
That's true. I write a lot.
We do. But we don't get to write all our toys off. You know what I mean? Our snowmobiles and 4-wheelers and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he does. He's got his sled written off. He's got a big Argo around. That's written off. Couple of
yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's driving
$1,200 mud tires for his truck. Oh, I need those for the field. I'm going, no, I don't think you do, but okay.
Yeah. It's tough, when a 20-year-old kid's driving around in a $50,000 truck, and you're like going, "Are you serious?"
I need this Ford Raptor for the farm.
Exactly, and I've seen them. I've seen Ford Raptors drive by farm plates on them.
Yeah. I need this Dodge Hellcat for rustling cattle.
Yeah. Mom's driving the Escalade with farm plates, but I don't think any hay bales are going in the back of that thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. How you doing, Tommy?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
I had to get on here so my fiance wouldn't sit there and watch Ronnie all day. He's got an infatuation for Ronnie for some reason.
That's a good thing, I guess. Could be worse. Could be Rockstar Flipper.
There you go.
Oh, man. We do have all BMWs, that's for sure. That's all we have. No I-8, though.
No I-8. I used to like the guy. I worked at BMW as a mechanic, and I used to like the guys that would buy 323s and 328s, and they'd strip all the badging off them, and then they put M3 bumpers on them. And
yeah, and you can clearly see the exhaust on one side.
Yeah, you hear it drive by, and it just kind of putters. I'm going, that's not an M3, but okay. Whatever makes sense.
I like to tinker with them on the side. Like one of my good friends is a master tech, but I don't really do anything mechanical. I like software. I like unlocking all the hidden features in them and tuning them and stuff like that.
That's a mechanic nowadays.
Nice.
What's that?
That basically is a mechanic nowadays. It's all computer stuff, and some of the new BMWs connect over Bluetooth. So you don't even have to plug them into scan readers anymore.
Oh, it's wild.
It pops up and it's like, is this a 750L? And you're like, yep. There's the VIN. Yep, that's right. And
wow. Isn't that amazing how far technology's come?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's amazing how much code has come. These Eastlands I picked up yesterday were like mint, and I left them in my car overnight.
Jeez.
Look at that. Literally, they were mint, like brand spanking new, almost $5.
There you go. There's a better view on that dust. I don't know if it's
Oh,
picking up
man.
here now.
That was my first endeavor inside business. I built computers for a year, and then the Chinese just ruined it for us here.
Building them.
Yeah, like, like custom gaming, anything like that. I still do it for myself, but you can't afford the margins. You can't compete anymore.
I still do pretty good selling gaming computers used, but I'll use a lot of used parts to build them.
Right.
Like, they're nothing crazy. As long as they can play Fortnite and some of the other games like PUBG, then the kids are happy. But I have an e-waste connection, and you should see what gets thrown out from some of these PC elitist guys. Like, I'll go in there, and he's got 980 Ti's. I'm going, this is in an e-waste bin? Yep. Plug it in, works. I'm like, who threw this out? Like, yeah, it's
in like your Goodwill.
no, but a 980 Ti, I can still play any damn game out there with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that for years, man. I was hardcore into gaming and everything that came out. I mean, the processor went up like 200 megahertz. I had to have it. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was that guy for a while too.
I'm finally out of it.
The TI comes out and I'm like, well, I need this one now. But there's no difference.
No, I got out of it, thankfully.
I do good with the old stuff now, like Windows 98 and older computers. I do really good selling those parts.
I wouldn't say that, man. I like, because I just moved, so I have ADD to like the worst degree, and so I've changed my eBay store 3-4 times, and because I get tired of just looking at the same thing. So I went back through old boxes and dug out I have like 30, 40, I don't know, 50 computers in my storage that are just old ones of mine, old ones I take on trade, people didn't want anymore. Yep. I grabbed 2 of them the other day, an old Athlon FX 6100 and a motherboard, and just threw it on eBay just for shits and gigs. It's sold within 24 hours, and I got brand new with tags items sitting here that won't sell for months. I'm like, wow, I'm getting ready to do this, and I can see myself getting ready to shred my store and go through and start selling all the old hardware.
Like all those computer monitors behind me, the old CRTs, I get $100 to $200 a pop for those things nowadays, and they're gone usually within a week. Pain in the ass to ship, but
the thing about those is, like, I have a whole set. Well, it's not. I haven't reset it up yet, but in my old house, right before I moved, I had every single console from Atari, up till today. And I had to have CRTs to play some of them, or to actually make them look decent. And that's what a lot of people are looking for now. I see that more and more frequently.
Smaller size too, I find. Like the sort of 27-inch and under seems to be what everyone's like. Those PVMs and DVM monitors, people go nuts for those because everyone's getting into hooking up their old consoles through RGB, and they're doing the SCART hookups to BNCs. And I did the same thing. I don't know if you can see over my head. Like, that's some of my boxed consoles all up there. There's old Segas and Nintendo, and I got everything from Atari 2600 to Xbox One. And at one point, before we bought this house for all the renos, we had it all hooked up, and you could play any console you wanted. They all went through like professional switchers, and I still have an old CRT I use because it doesn't look great on a monitor. So
yeah, what is that connection? God, I never went that far. There's that connection that up converts it all. It's mostly European, but we get it over here too.
SCART
cables. Yeah. Oh my God, that is outrageous.
Mm-hmm. If you add up all the cables I have for my consoles, because I went down the rabbit hole of trying to get the best image out of every single console, I probably have a couple $1,000s in cables. And then I got an upscaler, so I still got the CRT, so you can play it on the CRT if you want to play a light gun game or just see how it's supposed to actually look. But then it all runs through FrameMeister, and it upscales it for my flat screen too. And
now with FrameMeister, how many devices can you hook to that? Because they're not clear on that at all.
Like a couple if you want to use the different inputs, but what I used the FrameMeister for is all the consoles I had running to SCART would all run to a SCART switcher, and then just one SCART cable would run to the FrameMeister. So technically all of them went through the FrameMeister, but through a switch box.
Yeah, I stop by storage every day and grab like little bins of stuff to lift. Like, that's all. Like, it's crazy. There's so many games in there. Game Gear, memory cards. This one's full of like a lot of memory cards. They sell like crazy now. The PS2s, and you guys gotta definitely look for that stuff.
His channel does awesome, and all he does is buy old memory cards for the PS2 and the PS1. And if he's got the games, he sees what people has on the memory card and continues their games.
Yeah, that's a lot of things. A lot of them have saved games on them, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But I have like literally, like I was talking to Lonnie the other day, I literally have my best guess would be like 20,000 games and sitting in storage right now. Just because I started on eBay with video games and I got burned out because of the way that you have to list things on eBay. It's not worth listing $5 games on eBay. It's just not. But you need to in that business, and people do it every day.
Well, not everyone's looking to buy a $100 game.
No.
Every day.
It's not easier to do it on Amazon. Just do them all merchant fulfilled, and they're slower, long tail, but they sell. I just listed a PC game, Rome, for PC.
Yep.
It sold within a day for like $15. I would have never dreamt it.
I find the PC games are starting to get a little bigger and make a bit of a comeback now too. The older PC stuff.
I'm just kind of worried about it because you have no idea. Like I don't know if the codes are still usable. Like I guess back then at that age they weren't online, like linked to an account, so it should be fine. But
Older stuff, you shouldn't have a problem.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
There's some XP games though that if you have Steam installed on your computer, it'll think it's off Steam and it'll want a code. But there's a couple websites, if you just Google it, there's an easy way to circumvent that if it's an older game.
Right. Hopefully the people, the Amazon customers are a little more needy, so hopefully they know how to do that.
I think a lot of guys buying older stuff like that kind of probably already have an idea about that or sort of know. You know, it's like buying an old NES and assuming you don't have to blow in it. Like, oh, I've never had someone contact me like, your NES doesn't work. I turned it on and it just flashes like I'm blowing the card. I mean, you should actually do that.
Use the blow technique.
Yeah, it's actually really bad. You should actually never blow in your cards to test them.
Oh no. I use something you shouldn't even use, but it works so flawlessly. I use like the highest grade rubbing alcohol and Q-tips. Yeah. You should never do that. Don't ever take that advice, but it works flawlessly for me.
It does work good, but no, you shouldn't really do that either.
Yeah. But if you guys ever see the Logitech wireless controllers for the older consoles, they sell almost instantly for $40, $50, $60. That's something I always look for.
Wow.
Yeah. Gone are the days of me going to Garage Sale Zone finding an NES with 20 games for $5. It's not a thing anymore.
Lonnie can give you tips on that.
Yeah, there's some people that luck out with that, but man, not around here.
Not here. It's a tough
No way.
Yeah, even in my little state, it's getting ridiculously. I live in like the second smallest state in the country, and it's the amount of resellers of video games that I see just on Facebook Marketplace is getting insane.
Yeah. It's really taken off.
Yeah, it has.
And you can't even touch them because the people that are selling them, they know exactly what they got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of with Lonnie the other day. I was telling Lonnie, I put a message. That was before I actually talked to him in person. I said, dude, anyone selling a lot like that knows exactly what they're worth. You might be taking a couple $100 off, but that's about it. Hopefully he did better, and because I know he talked him down, so I'm hoping he makes some good coin because that's a lot of work listing 250 NES games.
Yeah,
he knocked those things out quick.
He did, man. It's only like
well, you got to figure you only got what, a couple photos of, 2-3 photos probably max. Per, at least you could, that's easy. You could bang that out real quick.
For me, it's more the monotony. Like my brain would just go bonkers after like 25.
Yeah, it gets old fast. It really does.
You get that much money wrapped up into something though, you kind of get that drive. Is like, okay, I got to get this stuff up so I can start recouping some of this money though too.
But it's like, am I the only one that when you buy new, you learn what to buy over the years, and I try to raise my ASP daily as much as possible.
Definitely.
So now I have my older stuff here that they might make $5 or $10, which I just have no interest in listing. Everything else too expensive. It goes right to the front. It's like, am I the only one that does that? No,
that's actually what I've been kind of doing this week and last week. I've actually been working through like some of my death pile. A lot of my death pile is a lot of the stuff that it's that lower ROI stuff that is like, I just don't pick up anymore. You know, I mean, because yeah, I'm kind of like you. You know, I've tried to increase my overall, you know, average sale price or, you know, ROI on you know, my stuff considerably, because it's like I just don't want to mess with some of this stuff anymore. You know, close is a lot of work. You know what I mean?
It is.
And
you know, I mean,
slow seller too. Slow.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's good money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's a lot of work.
That's it. Keep talking it down, boys. Keep talking it down.
Man, nobody does what you do. I mean, you buy a suit online, you go to two people. You go to Ronnie or the mall, like an online mall. That's it. There's nowhere else.
Oh, there's other people that do a lot better than me. I just learned from them.
Yeah. And I got a whole rack of suits back here that I gotta get going on. But it's just,
I mean, the problem is, I mean, if you're new to suits, and I've done this, buying suit jackets, buying like especially 90s or 80s style suits, even no matter what the brand is, it could be the best brand, it could be Brioni. You're gonna have a horrible time moving it and for decent money, because it's just so outdated and styled. Nobody wants it.
The pattern alone the pattern alone, pinstripe versus, you know, solid.
When they tell people I left a Baroni in the store, and people are like, what? You did what? They don't get it. It's like, what?
Literally.
And you have to become pickier and pickier if you're especially selling that stuff.
Yeah. It's about the reaction I get when I got a guy I work with now. He's really gotten into clothes, but he's been buying stuff for about the last 3 years, and he's just now getting around to listing them. And I'm always like going, hey, I left a whole bunch of Tommy Bahamas and some Harley shirts in there. I go, you might want to go pick. And he goes like, what? Why do you leave those? What do you? I go, because they're not, you know, for me, they're nothing for me anymore. Or I go, if they were special, I would have bought them. I go, there's nothing really about those that I want, but I go, for you and how you're doing your things, I go, you know, maybe that's something you want, but it's like, I'm not buying those.
Andy, I'm starting to figure out something about Poshmark. I know you do. We have two accounts. Right. So my fiance runs the main one. She's an ambassador, and I run a BS one where I just tinker with things and try to figure things out.
Okay.
Anything under $20 seems to move twice as fast.
Super quick. Yep. You're not the only person I've heard that from. It's just on Poshmark. I'm not trying to sell my stuff that cheap, because, like I said, if I put it at $20, you know, by the time you get that 20% off, or if I got to send somebody an offer, I'm only making about $10, $12 on this, and that's just below my where I want to be.
Versus putting it on eBay, you know, it'll probably do a lot better. Right.
That's why, like, if you go to my closet, like, you'll notice that, like, almost the majority of my items are all at least $29. That way, then if I send them an offer, I'm still going to make $20 on that item. You know, even if I send them 10% off, I'm still, after they take the fees and I give them a shipping discount, I'm still getting $20 off of that item. You know, so like, I think like most of my t-shirts, I have them all listed at $24. So that puts t-shirts, I think with the 20% off and then the $1, I think I get like around 16 or about $16.40, I think, which is what I'm going to get on eBay for a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? By the time, because I usually do free shipping, I have switched to, I'm just kind of switching now to charging for shipping, and I'm not liking that at the moment.
Don't do it.
What's that?
Don't do it.
What is this?
Don't what? Don't charge for shipping?
The minute I changed the charge shipping, my store tanked.
That's exactly what's happened with mine. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks now, and my last two have been freaking crickets.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I don't know.
I mean, it's like drastic. I mean, I'm down like 40%. I think I looked yesterday and I'm down like 40-some%.
I went down 73% before it started to level out.
Yeah.
How are you from where you were last year, though?
What's that?
Well, last year I wasn't full. I wasn't even remotely part-time, let alone I can't really compare.
Okay. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm down from last year considerably.
Okay, because I know January for me is terrible, and like the first week was really good, and then the last, well, it's been 2 weeks now, have been like, okay, what's going on here? And it seems like every big sale I get gets returned, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just put in a return jersey.
Over $100 sale, it's getting returned the last week. It's like people get it, and they're like, "Oh, the government shutdown's not done."
That's the thing too. Is I've been on all my first class items. I have been adding free returns onto it. So because I figured it's like, okay, well, I know they're kind of rewarding people for offering free returns, but I am not seeing anything with that. So I'm going to give this probably another couple of weeks, and I'm probably going to end up going back. I mean, it's just something I do all the time anyway. I'm always experimenting with stuff. I mean, I think you have to, you know what I'm saying? Just, to find out what works best. But yeah, I think I'm going to go back because
I love Justin, and we talk every day, and he's so anti-free shipping. But I feel like clothing is so saturated, and like, I'd love to see the percentage, but I think like 80% of the sellers are doing free shipping, even though they're padding it in.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, because that's what I'm doing now is, so instead of charging $24 or whatever, for X shirt or whatever, now it's I'm charging was it 16 plus $4.99 shipping or what $60-70 plus $4.99 shipping. So it's potatoes and potatoes. It's still the same stinking thing. They're paying the exact same. You know what I mean? But it's just I'm really not seeing the difference, and I think you get that kick by doing the free shipping.
Oh, and you get the free logo, and that's what draws people to you.
Exactly.
All mind.
Yeah, because I've been following what Justin was doing. Justin says he's had really, really good luck with it, and I'm all about trying something new. You know what I mean? And so I've been giving it a shot. And since I've been doing it, it just for me personally, my stuff is just tanked. It is tanked drastically, but so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's taking a mental day today, so we'll have to.
Yeah. He said what he was doing earlier, and I can't remember what it was, but
he was taking a mental day. I think that's code for he got his CBD oil in today, and he's going to relax.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-oh. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that was me. Oh shit! I thought it was... Wow.
I mean, I just typed in, because I was just curious because you guys are talking about that. I just typed in Ralph Lauren under men's clothing, and I think I just did. Oh no, it's including everything. So it's 380,000 pieces of that. 156,000. So about a 40% do free shipping, and 92,000 of them offer free returns.
But not how many of them sold? That's the big question.
Right.
I figure that's going to be even less.
That's why I like my weird ass electronics. I can look up that monitor beside me, and there's 3 on eBay.
Right. And you can charge for shipping because you're very specific. Like Ronnie can get away with it. He's doing something very specific.
Yeah.
And I have good luck with toys doing free shipping, paid shipping, or stuff like that. It doesn't matter. But video games and clothes, I have terrible luck with free shipping. Just personally, it could definitely 100% be great for anyone else in the world.
All right, here you go. Sold is 188,000. Of that 188,000, only 58,000 were free shipping.
Wow.
So it's actually a lower percentage is through free shipping.
Wow.
It's not a huge amount lower, but it's lower.
I would not have guessed that.
The others closer.
I wouldn't have guessed that either.
I think it depends on how are you doing your listings now, both of you. You do 30 days.
What do you mean?
Could they cancel?
I always do.
I do 30 days.
And have you
actually how I do anything new goes up for 10 days. I do 10 days. I do a 10 day for the first month typically. So essentially I'm getting that 6 major exposure days in that 30.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then if it hasn't sold in that first 30 days, then I just flip it over to 30 days.
Okay.
And I do good till canceled because my store refreshes every 3 to 4 days. I do 2 different promoted listings. So I do like a 1% through the week and a 2% on the weekends.
Yeah. See, now that you mentioned promoted listings, that's another thing is I actually, about the time that I started doing switching over to the paid shipping, I stopped doing promoted listings. I typically always had, my stuff was always on at least promoted for, you know, even if it was 2%, my items were still promoted and stuff was moving pretty well. Oh, okay. And anyway, so yesterday I started promoted listings back up again, and I also ran a little bit of a sale. Now I've had, you know, some success just since I started doing that. So I don't know if it's promoted listings or helping things. I don't know if it was the sale, because I normally don't ever run a sale. But I'm going to kind of see where this promoted listing thing goes too, with doing the charging for shipping, to see if I just start, if the sales start picking back up again. So I'm just wondering if it's just something just as simple as, you know, running the promoted listings, because, you know, like I said, now I'm getting two listings out there for the price of one. You know what I mean?
100% pushing that. I mean, that's where they're trying to
exactly
promoted listings.
Yeah, and when I was actually like looking at my graph, you know, I mean, because I was looking at the graph yesterday, and I was like, man, I go, this was like substantial, you know, I mean, like what I was actually getting off of doing, you know, I mean, and then you see right where, like when they dropped off, yeah, I mean, and it, you know, I mean, that there's obviously, you know, there's nothing. And then I go back and I was actually looking at my overall, and I'm like, man, I go, I have like nothing for sales. I mean, this is like horrible. So I was like, well, you know what, maybe, and like I was actually going to do a video on this because I've been kind of tracking this for a while as well. Is because now like if you go into your sold, like your eBay sold, so like your paid and shipped or your whatever, it actually shows what sold via promoted now. Like it'll like it used to never do that, but now like if you go in there, it'll show that it was like a promoted sale. Like, you know, I mean, it came up from being promoted, and I started tracking that, and for me personally, it was over 50% of my sales were all coming from promoted. I think it was closer to around 70% of my sales. Like I kind of was just going like 30 days, you know, and I started counting, you know, all my sales, and it was well over 50% of them were all from promoted.
The good till cancel is supposed to help with Google rankings too, right?
Yes.
Good till cancel does, really?
Yeah, that versus the 30-day, because
they only scrape every so many days, the API or whatever.
Right.
Huh.
So if you're refreshing your listing, you know, theoretically, we don't know. We don't know the exact number. I don't.
Right. Just assuming, making an assumption.
Did you put regular paper in?
A lot of people talk about that though.
I mean, it's a flawed system no matter which way you do it technically.
Right.
Oh, it's a terrible
because
system.
I mean, the listings get kind of old, and the whole thing of the longer you have a listing up, I mean, what do you call it? The longer you have the listing up, kind of, if it's good to cancel, eBay kind of pushes that listing supposedly, or they don't reward it. They
get stale.
You know, and they just, you know, but then it helps with Google. But I mean, to me, it's like I don't care about Google for the most part. It's like if somebody's looking for
because if somebody's looking for, you know, some, you know, like a, you know, just for a stupid Sony Walkman, they're going to eBay. They're going to go search on eBay. They're not going to search. I don't think that they're searching on Google for, you know, I mean, they're going to a sales site. I would assume. I mean, that's where I'm going to go.
I mean, that's why I just do 10-day listings. I've done it for a while, off and on.
Yeah.
I've got
that. I have way better luck, kind of like what Ronnie does. I have way better luck doing the 10-day listings and then just refreshing it, because, like I said, I basically get 6 solid days in that 30 days of a heavy push, and then if I'm doing promoted on top of it, you know, I mean, I've essentially gotten 12, you know, out of those 6 days. You know what I mean? Because they're double. You know, I'm getting double the exposure on all those listings as well.
We could take an item, one of your items or one of my items, and we'll both list the item in our store. 2 different ways. Your 10-day, my 30-day. You know, if it sells out for you the same day, if it sells, you know, you ship it, whatever.
Right.
And test it and see.
Yeah, just kind of how that would go.
I think we know what the item is, so we can kind of search it the way of thinking about how. Because I write my titles like a customer. Like if I'm gonna, you know, North Face men's pullover.
Right.
You know,
right.
Because you know, no customer is going to type in North Face men's quarter zip large. no customer is going to.
Right. Yeah. Everything is all brand, and that's how I do mine. Mine's all listed brand size. It's always, yeah. Like I said, it's North Face, men's extra large,
Yeah.
and then it's whatever the item is. Button front shirt, or I might say long sleeve, depending on like if I don't have enough keywords or something like that. You know, I mean,
Right.
I might say long sleeve, but otherwise it's for performance polo, or it's whatever. You know, I mean, yeah. But I try to exactly like how you said how I would search for an item.
Right. And so if you do it kind of the same way, and then just do it with two different, the way the store's set up, it'd be amazing. I'd love to see how it.
Well, and Ronnie might know, or I don't know if some of the others. I think wasn't it? I think it was Alabama Pickers and Jim Bennett. Didn't they do like a live experiment on that?
I know.
I think it was on one of their shows one time. They were actually they were doing it live, like in a hangout like this. And they were like messing with kind of like they were showing like where the item.
Yeah, I know Dusty and Eric. I know at least those two. I don't know. Jim may have been involved. I know they did a lot of live testing with it though. That's been a while back though.
Andy's wife pull his internet. Time to go to lunch, Andy. I'll teach him. Get off that damn booter.
It's so freaking hard to understand what the hell freaking eBay wants, though.
But what?
What eBay wants.
Oh, and it's not even fair. If you have the best item at the best price, you shouldn't have to pay for rank.
Right.
You should automatically default to the top, no matter what. Unless someone's stupid enough to change his sort to highest price. That's on them.
Well, typically the default search is doing best match.
It's doing best match, right?
Yeah.
Right, 100%. And if you do your titling correctly, eBay does a pretty good job of putting in the item details for the most part. But you still got to go over that really, really, really good. And that's the only way I feel like you can mess up a listing is not filling in the details, because I almost feel confident in saying that how many different item details there are. So let's say there's 20. Every product is different, but the more percentage you have filled in calculates towards your best match. So if you leave those blank,
right. Yeah, I actually add a lot of different things to mine as well, like on almost all my, especially for like clothing, and there's other items as well. A lot of times, like I'll add like a theme, a style, and a type. If those options aren't available, I'll usually always add that, because then under those I can add like little extra keywords in there that just may show up.
Do y'all know if by using the details like you're talking about, does that apply to something that you're just searching in your search bar, or do you have to drill down into the details, of like the filtering?
It's just it weighs as much as your title.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying. If I go off and search for red Under Armour size large men's quarter zip in the title, is that the same thing as searching for Under Armour and then selecting color red over in the filter? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because like in the theme or whatever, a lot of times I'll type in like casual, or I'll type in maybe if it's dress, or I'll type in like a different maybe it's if it's Hawaiian and that's not like an option somewhere else, like I'll type in like those, or I'll do like motorcycle biker. I kind of will type those into like the theme or stuff. You know what I mean? It just giving it extra keywords that might not necessarily be there in a description.
I've been told, not been told personally, but watched live interviews where, eBay representatives state that it weighs just as heavy as your title, and your description does not weigh anymore. It used to weigh heavy in the beginning, but now I've been, if I remember.
Isn't it only like the first 80 characters or something like that is all that actually shows up? I think it's a real small number. I thought it was only like the first 80 characters that are all that's relevant.
And sometimes you have to click through to see description to even see the description anyway.
Right.
That's why it doesn't weigh anymore, from what I've been told, or heard. No facts, of course, but also your titling from left to right. There's a weight on each word. Your first keyword weighs the heaviest, and then it slowly degrades as it gets to the right. Like it's only like so. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, because the further to the left it is, the more valuable it is.
Right.
And that's why you should have the brand over there, I would assume.
Correct. Yeah. Start with the brand. Now, sometimes in very saturated, and because I see how sometimes I'll search when I search for something I want to buy, I'll actually type in like men's Nike running shoes. And there's times where I'll test it and try it and it doesn't affect it. It'll still get the same views. But I think you're just because Nike is so big that it still weighs heavy.
Yeah. Andy, I can't remember if that was Dusty and Jim, or I know Eric was involved with it a good bit. I know they did a good bit of testing.
Yeah. I think it was Dusty and Jim that did that, and there might have been somebody else on the show at that time. But yeah, I mean, it was a really, really good episode that they did because they were doing it right there live on the fly.
Yeah,
and I really, really enjoyed that.
But that's been 6 months or so ago, wasn't it?
Oh God, I bet it's been longer than that. Yeah. I mean, it's been a while ago.
And the problem with Cassini is about the time somebody thinks they have it figured out, it's changed again.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to figure out and hard to know. All people can do is make educated guesses and do testing.
I need some lighting help, Andy. I need to look at your store. I need to send me a link to your store so I can see these. Because I'm having a terrible time since I moved with my lighting and.
To my eBay store, my Poshmark store is really easy. It's just
whichever one has the best.
Just go to my Poshmark store. That one's the easiest one, and you can see everything on there. It's just at Marshman71. I'll put it in our little side chat, but yeah, it's really easy to.
I don't know if there's a window to like natural light coming in, but
I do mine in a basement. I mean, you could right down here. I mean, it's an unfinished basement, so I have no natural light at all. I use two of the. The Limo Studio? I have two of the 5-bulb boxes. I use those, and then I just got a ring light, an 18-inch LED ring light
from your recommendation, actually, and it helped a little bit. But
oh man, that has been. I love that thing. That thing really, really is. That thing's really nice. I like that.
Have 5 lights in them.
What's that?
Your light boxes have 5 lights.
Yeah, they're 5 lights, and they're all individually. There's 5 switches on the back of the unit as well, so I could control all of them.
And I bought a $400 camera, the whole 9, man.
I use my pictures look the same now as what they did 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and as far as like quality wise, I used to use my Samsung S5, then I got an S7. I used the S7, and now I'm using an S9. I do not use a camera at all.
We've always get my fiance to help out a lot when I'm busy. She'll take pictures. That's the only thing I can really get her to do. And we've always used iPhones, had no problems. And now since we moved, I just can't get it right. It's got to be the natural light affecting.
Sure. I did notice after I got the ring light that it has really helped with like the natural color. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I get decent, but like, you do clothing. So like, like navy blue sometimes is really hard to get like really good.
Especially if you
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It kind of goes out in like, sometimes orange, you know what I'm saying? Like once I got the ring light has really helped. And I think it's because it's throwing out more of that, I don't know, call it natural light, but it's better than the fluorescent light. In just my opinion. So, my photos definitely now, that I've been using that are really, really more crisp. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't there a problem with mixing light types?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
light and,
I don't know
the terminology.
I do that. I do have a 4-foot fluorescent light that sits way above like everything. But so I mean, I'm sure it kind of mixes a little bit, and I probably shouldn't use that. But I mean, it's what I have works right now. So
right. I've got a ceiling fan light that's just got regular bulbs, and I try and turn that off.
Because I think you get occasionally, like if I do take some of my pictures, occasionally I will get a little tinge of yellowing, and I know it's coming from that fluorescent light.
Right. Lighting is a mess. It's hard to deal with.
But like when I do anything small, like when I do any of my smalls, anything that I do like right up against my regular here, like so I got like the brick background over there. Anything that I do like on the lower end of that, like that, that stuff all comes out beautiful. But it's my light boxes, and I think because it's far enough away from the fluorescent light, and then like where I have like the ring light and my other lights, it just really, really lights that up. And I never have to touch, I never have to do anything to those photos. Like, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I don't have to mess with that stuff at all. They always come out really, really good. But my clothing sets up a little higher and closer to that fluorescent light. So occasionally, you know, I got it's a little iffy, but.
I had shitty pictures for the longest time and I couldn't figure it out. And it all came down to my monitor was calibrated terribly. So the pictures were actually great because I'd look on them on my camera and I'm like, wow, it looks awesome. And then you put it on the computer and I'm like, oh my God, everything's oversaturated. And it was all just the monitor was just screwed up.
Yeah. And I think if I knew more about like, you know, doing white balances and all that sort of stuff, I mean, it might help, you know, because especially like with this phone here, it's got so many features on it, but it's like, I'm such a novice when it actually comes to photography and stuff like that. I know you're be like, oh, how the hell, you know what I mean? But no, believe me, I cheat. You know, there's a lot of stuff I cheat, man. I mean, and I'm pretty transparent about it. You know, it's like, yeah, I got nice photos, but you know, I got to cheat. And yeah, is it the most effective way to do it? No, but
do you post editing?
What's that?
Do you edit it all afterwards? Do you post edit at all?
Yeah, a little. I do a little bit. It's more like. I'll do some crop. I'll do because like I take everything in square mode, but I still do some cropping. You know, I mean, it's just because I'm so, like I said, I'm anal. I want everything to be uniform. I like things a certain way. So like, yeah. So I run everything through PicMonkey. It's just a program I use, and there's a feature in there. It says square. It's just like I'll just crop everything, and then I use another piece of software called Clipping Magic, and that's how I get that really, really nice white background. It just pops the background right out of it, and then you can put any color background you want onto it. I mean, if I want it in front of a beach or whatever, I can add that if I really want. But I just hit white, and it just turns everything bright white. It's amazing.
Wow, I've never seen a men's LuLaRoe shirt.
Oh, are you looking at my closet? Yeah.
Your pictures are amazing, and I love how you do the
logo,
logos in the double, triple, quadruple pictures.
Yeah. For Poshmark, I really like that for Poshmark, where I got kind of, because a lot of times, like, because people go to your closet, they scroll. I think a lot of times because, you know, and so by putting that, you know, you don't see the little, you know, where it says Margaritaville or Orvis or whatever, you know, you're just kind of scrolling through, but I have a big logo there and your eye will catch that logo.
Yeah.
Opinion, I mean, known as your eye will catch that. So you're like, oh, okay, you know, hey, I like Harley stuff. Is like, oh, no, there's a big bar and shield right there. What is that thing? What is this? You know, I mean, I don't do it for my shoes. I don't do it for anything else, but just the clothes. I think like my clothes and my ties, I do that. And it's kind of funny, and I'm sure it's probably people that follow me or whatever, but I have noticed that there are other people that now are doing, I've seen that on different people's closets where they're adding logos or they're adding this. I mean, it takes 2 seconds. I mean, it literally takes me 2 seconds to do that. It's not really that time consuming, but I mean, I'm also not banging out, you know, 90 listings a day either. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys. I mean, you know, I've seen some of these guys closets on here and this and that, and you know, and they brag about how much they're doing a day or how much they're picking, and you look at their stuff and like, well, there's a reason you're doing that many a day. I mean, your stuff looks like garbage, you know. I mean, I'm not even calling nobody out, but your stuff looks like garbage. And then you look at it though too, and you know, for the same thing that I'm selling, they're getting half the money for. So it's like going, well, that's, you know, I can afford to put that extra 2 minutes into it to get twice the money out of it. You know, I mean, that's just. But you know, typically it only takes me just a couple of minutes to follow back.
And you have, do you put the how we measure in every single detail?
I do. Yeah, I do. Oh, that little graphic. Yeah. Actually, if you want, on my Instagram, and I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or not, but I have a kind of like a plain one that's available on my Instagram. That little how I measure logo, because I think I added like the Marshall's menswear to that. But anyway, I have that exact same thing, and it's just blank on the side. It says like how we measure, and so it just kind of gives people an idea how I come up with it. And that way, if they want to check their own stuff, they can do that. But yeah, if you go to my that template is actually available on my Instagram without the Marshall's menswear on it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so you got to scroll. You got to scroll pretty deep on my Instagram, but you'll find it there. It is available.
Did the UPS hats sell at all?
What's that?
UPS hats? Did they sell at all?
I don't know. I just picked that up.
I'm not allowed to.
I just happened to see it. I mean, it was $1. So I mean, if somebody, you know, I have, yeah.
I have hundreds. I don't know if you. I have literally hundreds, like from the years of being there, and I'm not allowed to sell them.
Oh, of UPS stuff. Oh, you can't sell them, huh?
They're serial numbered. Oh, they all have a serial number, and the barcode is to our employee ID.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, the one I have, I don't think it had. Oh, I'm sure it didn't have a number on it.
Yeah, they're. I don't have my work hat. Those are all like work hat.
Yeah, there's some sharp looking pictures, Andy. I like them.
Thank you.
So with the ring light, you actually take the picture through the ring, right?
I did when I first got it, and now I don't.
Really?
You can do it that way. And also, the thing that I like with it now too is like I can move it over here now when I'm doing videos, and because you can adjust the brightness on it. There's like a dimmer on it, which is really nice. So like if I'm actually doing like videos now, I can set that over here, and I can get some really, really good light. I mean, like right now, this isn't bad, but yeah, I get some really good light with it. So it's kind of dual purpose. So I can use it for making videos, you know, or a little better quality videos. But yeah, so now I just have it kind of set up, like I said, like I just have it set off to this, like, you can kind of see I've got one light box kind of like setting there, and then I just kind of have the ring light a little bit lower. But that's where I was having a problem with some of my photos, is that lower level.
Yeah, that's the same here.
So now that I have that down there, I mean, it essentially sets about mid-height for a lot of my clothing. So it's taking that whole area, and it's also filling in that lower area. So yeah, like I said, all my real low photos now, anything I'm doing against my background, you know, all my smalls or whatever you want to call it, man, them are coming out beautiful now. They're just beautiful. I mean, I don't even touch those. I mean, I have like no editing I do, other than, you know, I might touch a crop up or something like that. But
right.
Yeah, I don't touch that stuff at all. And like I said, I love sourcing hard goods and that sort of thing. That's because it's easy. There's so much, I don't have to mess with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not a fan of having to edit clothing photos and do this and that, but for my area and where I'm at, it's just clothing it's available. So that's what, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Craig, you know, with an iPhone, like if you take your dark spot, if you double tap on your dark spot that's in your picture, if you double tap on it, you'll see a box come up, an orange box, and then all you do is take your finger and slide it up, and it'll take that contrast and take that dark spot away. Don't slide it too much or you start decoloring your item, but you'll see where it is. So
in just the regular iPhone
in your regular camera, just double tap on your dark spot. It'll use that as your white balance.
Right.
Yeah, as your white balance, and then you'll see like a line with like a sun come up, and you just take your finger and literally slide it up. Just do it right there at your desk. You can do it on anything. You can just open your camera up. You can do it on literally anything.
Nice. Sandra Bartlow said, is anybody having trouble with promoted listings? She said only about 10% of hers are showing up.
No, but I have stuff going on sale when I was not running a sale at all, like period.
Right. That's something I like too now, that like when I'm running, when I got a promotion going and you know, you go into a new listing, now you can add your item immediately right to a promotion, which is, I really, really like that.
But anybody who finds UPS stuff in a thrift store, there's a barcode there.
Okay. Yeah. Now, see, that hat that I have does not have that inside there.
Because we're not supposed to donate our stuff or anything. UPS is very weird about that stuff because of security. They like
sure. Well, and you don't want someone, you know, buying something at a thrift store like that and then showing up at your house taking a package or pretending they got a package and then
I can't believe the security that you can go through unfettered. Just they don't even care. Air base, like we have Dover Air Force Base, which is right down the street. Up in, you know, we go right in underground bunkers. They don't do anything.
Isn't that crazy?
So, it is. You go behind bank tellers all day long. They like, oh, bring it back here because it's heavy paper. They just unlock the gate. You go back there. They don't even question. It's just, it really is a security issue. So I feel like it's about 10 years ago, they spent a ton of money redoing the logo because a bunch of uniforms got stolen.
Sure.
And but yeah, so we're supposed to have it all sent back. We're not supposed to donate it. So if you do find it, everybody just do that person a favor and cut the barcode out so they don't get fired.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like our trucks all get crushed. You can't buy old UPS trucks. They scrap them. You can't do anything. Yep, you can. They paint them white and they spray paint over them and take them to the salvage.
Wow.
They're a pretty secure company, that's for sure.
Which all that makes sense for all the reasons that Andy was just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It is.
Well, yeah, because you can't. I don't even think you can. Can you get on eBay like the United States Postal Service uniforms and stuff? I don't think you can buy that stuff either. Can you or no?
Be able to, but I'm sure you can. It's just the same FedEx, all of them. They're all
right.
Security risk.
Right.
You know, because like we're by a resort area too. We have a lot of people. They're begging you for your stocks, or UPS stocks, trying to buy them. They offer you big money for your stocks, and it's.
Ken Dangle said, "I was a UPS driver for Halloween because I never deliver." Oh, wow. That's pretty funny.
There's a funny video of a guy on YouTube. He'd buy Walmart uniforms, Costco uniforms off eBay, and he'd walk right into Walmart and pretend to be an employee and just cause crap everywhere, give customers the wrong information. He got kicked out of one for jumping off the top balcony and landing in all these boxes. They're like, "You're fired. And what's your name? We have to." And he's like, "Oh, and give him fake names." And it's crazy how much he gets away with though, just putting uniform on. Walks right in, walks right to the back. Like, "Hey, where am I supposed to be? It's my first day," and they're giving him tasks and.
But but that's it though. I mean, when you got a uniform on, I mean, the guard goes down for everybody. I mean, because it's just naturally assumed by everybody there, employees or whatever, that you work there.
Well,
and especially
I'm sure new ones come and go all the time.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Turnover rate is probably so high. It's like you don't know if somebody's somebody's from a different shift or whatever. Maybe, I mean, that's
my primary thrift store. The employees all wear red shirts. I made the mistake of wearing a red shirt in there one day. And about 10 customers said, "Do you work here?" I'm like, "No, sorry."
Yeah, because you've probably been seen in there, a whole bunch of times, and they're all like,
"Exactly,
I know he works there." Yeah, that's funny.
Like, note to self: don't wear a red shirt.
That's funny.
So, does anybody do Mercari at all?
One item.
One item.
I've sold one. I've listed one item, and I've sold one item. And I don't know why I listed it. I think I just cross-posted it over there.
And 100% sell-through rate. There you go.
Yeah, true. Sold a pair of gray Jordans about 6 months ago.
I get lowballed to death on Mercari like crazy. Oh.
That's what I've been hearing. I'm a horrible researcher where like I over-research things, and so everybody's like going, "You need to get Mercari, you need to get Mercari," and I'm like going, "All right, fine." So before I just jump into it, I'm one of them guys. I'm gonna go. So I start delving into it, and then like I'm getting into all this like negative stuff out of Mercari, versus the 2 or 3 people are going, "Dude, you need to sell Mercari. It's great, it's great, it's great." And here now I'm seeing all this negativity, I mean, and all these people getting scammed. And yeah, like you said, the low balls they said are just absolutely ridiculous over there. They said like way worse than some of the other platforms. And I'm like, I am not gonna do. And I watch a lot of different YouTubers and this and that, and they'll show their eBay versus Poshmark versus Mercari sales, and I know it's another set of eyes and what have you. It's just, I guess, for me, and I'm not saying I won't sell on that platform because it's eventually I may, but it just right now I haven't gotten around to doing that.
But I feel like the people who compare them all like that and show you, "Oh, this one's performing better," they want it to perform better. They put more time into that.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's what they're not saying. They're saying, "Oh, I got this."
Well, totally agree.
Yeah, it's not like they're like, "I put 5 hours into each one each day, and here's the results at the end."
No. Right.
Better on Mercari, 800 listings. Look at their eBay; they got 48 items. Well,
I truly think for clothing right now.
But it's like Craig. I got 100% sell-through rate.
Exactly.
He does. Holy crap, that's amazing. Yeah, he just doesn't tell me he's only sold one item on there.
I think Poshmark right now for clothing is a better deal than eBay, in my opinion.
I do too.
But you do. It's kind of like Amazon. You have to feed it. You gotta.
Right.
You need the same activity every day, just like eBay.
I think when I'm listing, I do way better because yeah, like on the week, because yes, the weekends I seem to do way better, but that's when I do the majority of my listing on Poshmark. I mean, occasionally I'll get a couple things listed during the week, if I'm just sitting around. But yeah, the weekends. I mean, and I know obviously more people are on the weekends, but that's what I'm doing my listings. So my stuff is getting out there. Yeah, it's fresh. It's at the top. So I mean, it's. But yeah, I really like Poshmark.
Does Poshmark like listing the listing activity as much as eBay does? If you stay active with listing on eBay, you're getting a little bit of a bump.
According to Lauren, and Lauren's been on Poshmark
Right.
since almost the beginning. That's what she says. She says that at least try to at least list one item a day if you can. Kind of like with eBay. Right. I just think and I think that goes with the whole sharing thing. It just shows that if you're sharing on there, that you're active and you actually kind of give a crap about your. I think if you're doing stuff and you're staying active, it shows you're somebody who's in it for the business, or you care about what you're doing. Where
and you
it's
should
kind of
that time.
Yeah, exactly. Where and if you're one of those guys that's just a set it and forget it kind of guy, it's. Well, they don't really care because I think they look at it as like, well, you don't really care, so why should we push your item either? I mean, you're not doing anything to promote this, so why should we promote it? And I could be completely off base on that. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't even think eBay's about listing, honestly, because there's times I go weeks without listing. I think it's about just activity, even if it's refreshing listing, any activity. In my opinion.
Right.
This is my first day doing eBay stuff in like 3 months. I got a random 4 sales over the last couple days. Hadn't had any sales in a long time, obviously, because I haven't been listing or doing anything. So I wonder what the hell I got those sales. Check my feedback. I got 3 positive feedback from some items that shipped a long while ago. I don't know. I guess they just decided to leave feedback now. And it was almost like getting the feedback put a little bump in my listings, and all of a sudden,
I believe that 100%. It does happen. I took almost all of December off. Like I took all promotions off, bumped all my prices up almost ×3, and changed my handling time till 5 days. So because of UPS, because I knew I wouldn't have time to deal with it, and it suffered until I don't know, like you said, last week. I think I had 18 orders over the last 3 days, 18, which for me, because I haven't done anything at all, is quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, it was weird even having the 4. I mean, it's weird not having sales now, because I went from having, I don't know, minimum a couple sales a day, just minimum, but I just stopped doing it because I was too busy with other things. And
yeah, and I dropped down to
sales, right?
I dropped down to below 400 listings as well. So
yeah, so did I. Used to maintain 800 to 1,000. I think I'm at 275 or 300 listings right now.
But the stuff that's sold is so random too. That's the crazy part. Yeah, I'm down 19.3. Well, that's skewed very bad. I was playing a game with a scammer. He offered me $300 for a $20 pair of jeans, so I counter offered $2,000. and he accepted.
Of course.
He accepted, and he said, "I will pay."
You send me a money order.
He said, I will pay if you ship tomorrow. I said, no problem. It still hasn't paid yet.
Is he also an Arabian prince too that wants to send you some money? Is that?
I don't know. I haven't heard back from him.
Is he gonna pay you in Bitcoin or something?
I don't know. Probably pesos. Who knows?
Oh, I hate these.
I just like messing with people like that. I just thought he would not do it, but he did, and he got the last laugh because now my items hung up for 3 or 4 days, which is no big deal. It's never going to sell anyway.
I had that problem out of an estate sale seller. It was supposed to be a huge estate sale, and I show up and there's 10 things in the driveway. And I said, "How much do you want for that?" He gave me a price. I said, "How about $3?" I don't remember what the number was. And then he came back with $15 over what he was asking. I'm like, just turned my back and walked off.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, your negotiation skills are in the crapper.
Hmm. Yeah, from December the 26th until January the 13th, I didn't sell one single item.
Jeez. Yeah, I got a couple goose egg days on my thing, and I was just like, I thank God for Poshmark, because it was like those days I was getting goose eggs on eBay. I was like at least making decent sales on Poshmark, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and it stinks because I love eBay. I love a lot about eBay, but I dislike about eBay.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think they get so many things in place. I swear to God, it's like they want you to pay to play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I get it's their sandbox, but it's just, I just don't know why they can't be more like what they used to be. It's like,
That's the thing.
instead of throttling accounts and doing this and that, and it's always like something, you know what I mean? It's just, just be eBay. Quit trying to be Amazon. Quit trying to be what you guys aren't. Just be eBay.
And I think that was their biggest selling point, is they were eBay. They weren't Amazon. They weren't.
Right.
Well, yeah, and they announced like crazy loss last quarter, right? Or they were way down. So instead of trying to get buyers, they want the sellers to make up for their profit loss with promoted listings.
I can see that.
Which, in my opinion, is the total wrong way to go. You need to go after the generation that you're missing, which is the younger generation. They want nothing to do with eBay right now because it's too cumbersome. It's just too.
Right.
Yeah, like my little brother's 25, and you talk to him and his buddies, they don't use eBay. It's Amazon.
No.
That's all.
Right.
Because they know they're getting free shipping 2 days, etc.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, this thing's $10 cheaper on eBay.
you can't beat that free shipping though. And what is that thing that Amazon has now too, where like you can get your item in like almost 2 hours or something like that?
In the metropolitan area, yeah, you have to be within a radius of a major hub. You can.
Okay. Yeah, because what do they call it? Amazon Now or something like that. I mean, like you can get your item in like 2 hours. I'm like, oh my God, that's insane.
Well, if you look at like what they're doing right now, I was talking to a guy that flies for Atlas Air Pilot on my route, and he was telling me a whole lot of information about Amazon. According to him, Amazon went to FedEx and tried to get a deal where they could work together to take over the industry, and FedEx snubbed their nose at Bezos, and Bezos basically said, "No problem. I got enough money. I'll run the world by myself." And so now they're putting that hub in Cincinnati. If you look at that and the amount of airplanes they bought, they're going to be the largest airline in the world. It's crazy.
Wow.
Did you see that Mr. Bezos lost his Forbes richest billionaire in the world after his divorce with his wife?
After his divorce, yeah, she cleaned him out.
She's number one. He's number two, right?
Yeah, he dropped down to number 2 or 3 now, I think, even. But yeah, he dropped down.
And she's in the top 5.
Yeah, and all of a sudden she just jumped up. Oh, my room's a mess, and I keep losing things.
Yeah.
Those two things are probably related.
Oh, you bet they are.
I only know because my room's that same way.
I think all of ours are that way. Yeah, we're all kind of that way, I think.
I probably have Little Big Planet. I could just send you it if I have it. That's not a crazy expensive.
PS3, that's the only one I've ever sold.
Yeah, it's a $2 game.
Yeah, I think I might actually even have that one set back here. Is it for PS3? Is that what you need it for?
It's for PS3, yeah. Well, they got a PS4 one now too, but yeah, it's probably the PS3 one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, so Amazon's gonna have 50 767s now, which is pretty big for a private company.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. God, Gosh, I think it just looked a minute ago. We had like about 106 people in here. That's just crazy.
Wow.
I cannot believe how many people come to these hangouts and just,
I'm telling you, it really is soothing to listen to. You feel like you're there. Like I listen when I'm at work in my truck all day by myself, just riding around. It really, like I listen to Howard Stern in the morning, but when he's done, I'm bored the rest of the day. So this makes it awesome.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, I put this stuff on, when I'm driving as well. I like to have it on. I actually got nailed the other day. Cop pulled me over for having my phone out. I was hanging on, and I should have been hanging on to it, but I had it in the hand by the window, and they were actually out looking for people on their cell phones. He gave me a verbal, or no, I got a written. I'm sorry, it was just one of those things, and I was like, damn it! I should have told him I was using it for navigation, because you can have it for navigation. I should have just quick pulled it up the thing, but I was like, I was sitting there and I was trying to actually find a hangout, because I figured it's like, okay, I know somebody's live right now. I was like, I'm just gonna put this on, and I'm out farting around, and I just had to look back, and I was like, oh no.
Caught with your phone here in Ontario now, it's a $2,000 fine, 7-day suspension, and up to 6 demerit points.
What?
Whoa, man, they ain't playing.
So you might as well be drinking while you're out or too if you're gonna get caught.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably less of a punishment, isn't it?
And they can demand breathalyzers now in our province without suspected reason. Like they can pull you over for no reason and ask you to give a breathalyzer. If you deny the breathalyzer, it's a $4,000 fine, and it's treated as if you're drinking anyways.
Wow.
And the real
reasonable suspicion or no?
No, there's no suspicion needed. And the worst part about it is now is, say I don't like you and you're living in Ontario and you drive by me, I call in your plate number and say, he's swerving, he's been drinking. 2 hours from the report, they're allowed to show up at your house and demand a breathalyzer. And if you've been drinking at your house, it's your job to prove to them you weren't drinking in your house, or that you were drinking in your house and not in the vehicle prior to. And all this bullshit law got rolled out when they legalized marijuana. It was all written in within the marijuana law. So no one paid attention to that part, because everyone was all, oh, pot's going to be legal. Oh, and they're going to do this. And you can have this many plants. And you can have this much pot. No one read the fine print that's saying, so what's to stop an officer from knocking on my door and saying, give me a breathalyzer, because he sees me maybe drinking on my deck? He could say someone called it in, but it's my word against his now in the court of law. And me to prove that I was drinking at my house and I didn't arrive to my house drunk. I mean, I'll probably be fine, but it's going to screw a lot of younger kids over. You know how many times I can think of 2 hours of showing up to someone's house at the age of 20? Oh, I'm barely 2 hours into it. So, it's too much power they gave them. It's stupid.
It's crazy.
How do you guys feel about the socialized healthcare up there from you?
If you're broke and have no money, it's a great thing. But our healthcare system, my wife will tell you from being in Texas too, if you make any sort of decent income in the United States, your guys' healthcare is way better. I go to the hospital. I went to the hospital once to get stitches down this arm. I got a huge scar here. And I had to wait so long in the waiting room that by the time the doctor seen me, he was like, oh, you should have got here sooner. We can't stitch up your wound. It's been too long. So I've been 8 hours in the hospital waiting because there's a bunch of assholes ahead of me that are like, I have cold. Because we bring in, and I don't mean to sound racist, but we bring in all these immigrants who've never had health care, and now they have free health care, and they get free medication if they go to the hospital. So they get a fucking sniffle, and they're at the hospital with 8 of their kids. They're all getting sniffles, and they're trying to get free Advil, cold, and sinus, and cough medicine because they don't want to buy it from the pharmacy. We have to see them, so we see them and treat them. And I don't blame them. If I came from a place with absolutely no or anything either, I'd be, oh, this is sweet. I'm going every time I have an issue. My arm itches. Tell me what's wrong. Give me more medicine. So it's bullshit. You wait forever. It's stupid. There's things I like about it too, like mat leave. You get a year paid mat leave here. So you get a full year off paid. You get 55% of your wages for mat leave. That's nice, but there's a lot of bullshit here with it.
Wow.
Now, can you stack it? Can you buy private healthcare as well and stack it to get ahead of the game, or no?
No. The only thing you can get private around here that you can get quicker service for is your dental. Dental's not covered by healthcare. That all costs money here. Physio and things like that. Plastic surgery, you can pay and get it done quicker and get it done better. But just basic thing, like if you're a cancer patient, it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or you're broke as shit, or you're getting the same amount of help here. So a lot of people with cancer and things like that, they will go to the States where they can get help quicker and they can get better diagnostics and treated quicker, where it's not this wait program. So yeah, they like to make it seem great here. Free healthcare sounds like a great thing, but it's not. And it's not free. Like, our taxes here are double what you guys pay for taxes. It's insane. So it's not really free. I'd rather them tax me less. I'll buy my own healthcare when I need it. That'd be great.
What kind of tax bracket do you guys have roughly?
Anything sold here, you're 13%. Anything
Now, but what do they take out of your paycheck every week, though?
Oh, out of my paycheck? It's about 25% of your paycheck.
So that's
25, 28%.
That's equivalent to living in like New York City.
So, yeah, certain spots in the U.S. And that covers like your EI and your CPP, which is a pension plan, just basically your retirement, which I'll never see. They've already stated that people my age demographic aren't going to get a pension when they're old enough, because there's not
essentially most of us
leaving the workforce going into retirement. So my pension's shit out of luck. So I stack silver and gold in a safe, and that's my retirement fund. 30% of
Social Security basically is what he's saying, I'm thinking, or
pardon?
Is that like our Social Security, or is that
basically same sort of idea? Yeah. So it's kind of stupid. I don't know. It's not great here. But yeah, I stack my silver, gold. That's my retirement. That's what I'll live off of when it's done. Because I don't know about you guys, but here you don't pay taxes on the capital gains from raw precious metals.
Oh, nice.
So if I keep stacking my silver and gold and it goes through the roof and I make $100,000 off gold, I don't owe any tax value for that $100,000.
Where's Todd Silverhair Stacker when you need him? I'm sure he'd be the perfect one to ask that too. You would know.
30% of my profits from eBay, Amazon, Antique Mall, I take and I buy silver and gold when it drops.
Nice.
On that. Instead of, because I can put it in a GIC, or I can put it in a savings plan, but like the banks pay nothing on that. I make 0.3% interest, so that the bank just has more lending power. It's not really doing anything for me, so I choose not to put my money in that. So there's good and bad. I don't know. There's things that I wish we had that you guys have, but then there's things that probably you guys should have that we have. You know, it works both ways. It goes both ways.
Right.
Like, I think some of our gun restrictions here are ridiculous for some of the things you can and cannot own, and the things they restrict. Like, I got a couple 22 rifles here, and I had the 30 round clip and a couple Rugers. You can't have that anymore. So I got all this money that I bought these 30 round clips for these stupid 22s, and I can't even use the goddamn things now because they decided to make those illegal. You can't have more than 15 rounds in your 22 here. Shotgun can't have more than 3 rounds in the shotgun. They all come with a plug, so you can only fit 3 rounds in a shotgun. Things like that.
That's crazy.
Can't have automatics here. It has to be semi-automatic. A handgun, for me to own a handgun, the handgun has to be locked in a case. The clip has to be locked in a different case, and there has to be a trigger lock on the handgun. If I want to take the handgun with me, I actually have to call it in or email it in that I'm going to be taking the handgun to a gun range and how long I'm going to be in, when I'm going to be back. And if I forget to record when I'm back, you could potentially be charged for it. So a lot of people will leave their handgun at the gun range locked up. It's so stupid. Like, things like that. Like, that's a little excessive in my opinion. But then I do agree with the way we do licensing and how we handle the licensing of the guns. It's a bit of a wait process, but it's helped. Like, a good friend of mine, his wife passed away in an accident. It was a horrendous thing. Anyways, they took his guns from him for the first like month and a half because he was considered almost suicidal. So as a safety, they took he got them all back. He's got every single gun back now. They didn't keep them from him. He got it all back, but they took it from him to prevent him from hurting himself. He didn't like it at first, but now when he looks back on it, he says it was probably the best thing they could have done. But I don't want to get too much into the politics of weapons and guns and stuff like that. Our
Yeah,
gas.
you guys don't have oil. You're safe. You don't have oil.
Pardon?
You don't have oil. We don't want you. We're not going to invade you. You don't have oil, right?
Oh, Alberta has huge oil.
Does
The
it?
Alberta oil sands? Oh yeah, huge. It's like the fourth biggest oil supply in the world or something like that.
Oh, do we have a pipeline from there or something? Maybe.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So there's something stupid our government does. We sell our oil to you at a loss, and then we buy crude oil from you and charge more fucking money for the gas. So we could have cheaper gas as a country, but we don't do that.
Well, it's either that or we'll just say that 19 of your people flew into our towers and come invade you and take it.
Yeah, or that'll happen.
I mean, You get two choices. You sell it for a lot, or you're real close to a lot of nuclear missiles. So,
Yeah. We found hockey sticks and pucks in the last crash.
Yeah.
The Canadians did it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You guys have a bunch of stuff. Your U.S. stuff. You have a bunch of military stuff up north in like the North Pole and stuff like that, and Yellowknife, because of Russia, right? So it would make sense.
Oh
that
yeah.
things up there, yeah. And then I know a lot of your U.S. soldiers come up to Alberta to train because Alberta's so flat and desert-like. It was really easy to imitate the Middle East and stuff like that for training programs.
Nice.
You guys have a stronger army with your technology and weapons, but I know we have better trained soldiers because a lot of your high-end soldiers do finish their training up here through Canadian regiments and things like that. It takes a lot longer of training here, which I guess when you got less people, you better train them better. So
now, are you guys all volunteer military?
nope. I was in the reserves for a bit. I got out of it. It was kind of boring and stupid.
My issue is just with the waste. Like I love our military. I love what they do. It's just the waste. Like if you like work in a company like I do and deliver to the airbase and see what they get and what they do, and then a month later it's still sitting in the same spot. 6 months later it's in the same spot, and they have this. If they don't spend it, they lose budget. You know, they lose it next year. Like that's ridiculous. That's just
we have that same bullshit here. Even for towns, for funding for cities and towns, if they don't use a certain amount of the funding they get, then they get less next year. So they'll just use it on useless things, and it ends up creating higher taxes and land taxes, and it's just.
I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it was in the recent years. We every single person on our airbase got a brand new chair sent in next day air. All however many thousand people, brand new, next day air. Not even like ground delivery service. Next day air. We're just gonna, and they sat in the building for months before they all got dispersed.
It's good. We're equally as wasteful here with stuff like that. Or, we just pay out a couple $1 million to a goddamn terrorist, because he was wrongfully arrested or some bullshit. You get seen that in the media. Omar Kadahar or whatever. Long story short, he was put in Guantanamo Bay. He didn't have a right trial for Guantanamo Bay. Whatever happened, he sued the Canadian government. Instead of the Canadian government fighting it, they literally gave him $30 million. And now he wants to be allowed to fly back overseas to see his family that have ISIS and other terrorist connections. It's so stupid. And he was a known terrorist. So who cares that he was wrongfully accused and put into jail? I don't think he should have just rotted. It should have never been made public. He should have just stayed in Guantanamo Bay for the rest of his life. We got good beer and maple syrup, though.
He's got the Cubs. That's all that matters out there.
Yeah.
I grew up a diehard Cubs fan. Like,
there you go.
Yeah.
I lived in Maryland when I was little, and I should, Cal Ripken lived 10 minutes away, so I should have been an Orioles fan, but for some reason, I was drawn to the Cubs. Until Mark Grace retired, and then I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Mark Grace, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
He was my man. He was my favorite, man. I don't know why. I have no idea. I just loved him. I loved it.
Everybody likes Mark Grace.
Now he's an alcoholic, arrested like every 6 months for DUI in Arizona.
That was he broke in late 80s, 88, 89.
He was Peoria in 86. I think he came in like 88 was all his rookie card. So I'm guessing it was about 88.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right in that mid 80s range.
There was a whole slew of Cubs that I was a big fan of that came up and then turned into nothing, like Jerome Walton. Who was the other one?
Oh, there's a ton of them that came up that turned into nothing. But That's just baseball, I think, in general, though. I mean, there's a ton of those guys that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They bring them up from a farm team for 2-3 weeks or this and that, and then the next thing you know, they've disappeared.
I watched the Cubs because they were on WGN and the Braves were on WTBS, and that was about it.
Yeah, Chipper Jones was big at that time too.
Yep.
Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
That's my childhood.
As big as Sandberg fan.
Yeah, Sandberg was a solid player. He was very solid.
Yep.
I bet that was he started out with the Phillies though, didn't he? Or did he go to the Phillies later?
Man, I'm not 100% on that.
Sandberg, he went to coaching after he retired, didn't he?
I'm talking about playing. Did he either start out?
Yeah, because I think he was coaching minor league, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was coaching minor league.
Kelly the Econ Ward mentions Dale Murphy. I've got an autographed Dale Murphy hat around here somewhere.
Yeah, I thought he retired from the Cubs, but I could be definitely wrong.
I don't remember.
Because he was Philly's coach. I know that, right?
Yeah. 80s baseball was fun to watch. The dang cards are in the crapper, though. Value.
Oh, yeah.
He was drafted by, Scott says drafted by the Phillies. That's what I thought. I know he had something on the Phillies. I don't think he lasted a full season or even.
Yeah. It looks like he played his whole career as a Cub. Yeah. Number 23 Cubs infielder. Yep. That was just a good time, right? Like, right before all the steroids hit and everything. And, well, at least that we know of anyway.
Well, Canseco and McGuire were mid-'80s. The first big.
I'm sorry. They were after the steroids.
Right.
I meant to say that. Yeah, Canseco was 86. 86 Donruss rookie.
Yeah. If you want to talk about steroids, look at Barry Bonds.
Geez.
Looks like a bean hole.
In size.
Do what?
His head doubled in size over the career.
Yeah.
It's funny. My dad, my mom passed away like in 2012, and so I have a lot of stuff here. And I was going through some stuff when we were moving, and I found a ticket stub. My dad and one of his friends were at where Bonds hit the 660th home run. I found the ticket stub.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, not that it's worth anything nowadays, but. And I bought a lot of his cards, man, and they're worthless now.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of baseball cards. I had a ton of football cards, man. I was big into football back, the early 90s, right before like the, kind of right around that time when just before the market just started getting real saturated, you know what I mean? Before everybody started making cards.
Well, even like Clemens, like his cards held good until he got popped. I mean, Dwight Gooden was my first favorite baseball player. The pitcher, he was just amazing. I never seen anybody throw like him before because I pitched playing baseball. And then I don't know what happened to him. He just went off the deep end as well.
Yeah. Early cards in the early 80s were fun. 86 on up, there's so much of it, and like you're talking about different manufacturers getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of that stuff still, and it's just because there's just no money in it anymore.
I've got boxes and boxes and boxes.
Yeah. I do have a lot of autograph cards, like the certified autograph cards. You know what I mean? That actually came from like Upper Deck or those sort of things. I do have quite a few of those, or like, and I don't know how are like the jersey cards and stuff like that. Do those things have any kind of value anymore? Like they would have like either pieces of bats or pieces of a jersey or pieces of a shoe or a glove, or they always had like, remember at one point they got real nichey and they started putting or pieces of a football, a game ball or something like that onto some of them cards. They were pretty crazy.
Cards were fun before they came out with inserts. Inserts and chase cards, I think, were in the market. In my opinion.
Yeah.
It took it from a classic market to
Yeah.
Anyway, it boosted sales because people were buying it by the case, trying to find the $800 card. You know,
Well, what was happening is, and I know like one of the card shops, kind of like where I live, they were actually micing the packs, like taking a micrometer, and they would take and mic the packs, and they could tell which ones had the good cards, because a lot of times like those variant cards or the chase cards would be a little thicker, or they would be a little bit different than the regular ones. So they would go through and they'd mic them out, and I'm like, well, so they'd already like pre-sort like these cards, and then they'd set them out there. They'd already got all the good ones out of there. And I'm like, how does this happen? Like, that's just crooked.
Yeah, in the earlier '80s, it got to the point where you could identify a pattern into the way the cards were printed. You knew that the fifth pack in the box on the right.
Yeah, exactly. It was always in the same location. Yeah, in the box or whatever. Yep. Sorry, yeah, they get pissed if you try to get them to open a box. You're like, oh no, like, can we open that one? I go, I want one out of that fresh box over there. No, we're not.
Not because we've already pulled all the crap out of it.
Yeah, because the guy that owned the shop knew exactly where that card was too, or he knew where that pack was too.
Yeah, I could talk all days about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to be well. I mean, honestly, when I first, I started on eBay in '97. I think it was 1997 is when I started on eBay, and that's what I first started selling. I was selling my baseball cards, football cards, that sort of stuff. That was just kind of my first things that I started selling on there.
Right. It's getting to the point where a lot of stuff that carries the value are the graded cards and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Actually, when the card grading come along, that really changed a lot of things as well, because now you only want a 10 or a 9 or a 9.5. You know what I mean? You don't want just Craig's just plain card over here. No, it's not graded. I have no idea what that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
But half the fun of having them cards is actually being able to hold it in your hand. Look at, feel it. You get those graded cards, they're in a case that you can't take them out of. And I know a lot of my cards are still in the screw down protectors and all that sort of stuff, which I've heard them say that it's not good to have your stuff in those, because it actually kind of flat, even though they have the recesses in them, it still kind of changes some of them cards. But
there was somebody that came out, I don't remember who it was, if it was Topps or what. It was a virtual card. You never really owned the card. I mean, you never really had the card physically.
What?
When you bought it by the pack, or you could buy specific players, but it was they held the cards, and you had like a stock certificate, for lack of a better term, for your card.
Oh wow, that's one I had
about 10 or 12 years ago.
But I got this at an auction a couple months ago. It's a Orioles, like every one of them signed. It's all Orioles players, and I got to send it off to get it, just to make sure it's real. I got to send it off, but it's outrageous to get them like certified as well.
Oh yeah. You send them a PSA, or I don't know. Does Beckett still do they do authentications or not?
I gotta tell you, I haven't been in the business, and
I'm the same way. It's been so long. Like I said, I still have tons of that stuff, but I've got a crap ton of autographs. I used to actually, I can't remember who I was talking with here. I was talking with someone here not long ago about that whole thing. Like I used to have like these, I used to buy like these lists. Like one was, it was called a Ponte list. And essentially it was like all these people's home addresses or addresses. And like, I've got like tons of like old, guys that play. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I have like tons of guys that have played for the Cowboys. Like I used to send them like I would either send them cards, or I even made up like little like index cards, and I would have like their picture and their name on it and the years that they played for the team. And a lot of these guys like personalized stuff and would say, they would send stuff back to me, all signed. And there were some people that had sent me photos, like 8x10s. I got all kinds of different stuff back through the mail, from a lot of these people. And then I started sending it to other different, people. And this has been, years ago. But it's just something I just kind of did for a hobby, and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun to get that sort of stuff. And then, then I would flip some of the, I would usually always tell them, like, hey, you can keep a couple of these cards for yourself or whatever, but it'd be nice, if I could get an autograph or whatever, that'd be cool. And they would usually, a lot of times they'd send like, 4 or 5 of them back, or sometimes I'd even get extra ones that I didn't even send, and then I'd throw them up on eBay. I was, I just wanted one. I didn't need 6 of these things. That was just, but.
Yeah.
So I had a guy after Christmas bought a Joe Flacco jersey, and I was just talking about it the other day, and I think I jinxed myself. He just put in for a return for this jersey, right? He 320. I think it was 325 MSRP. I couldn't sell it forever. He ended up paying like 165 for it, something like that. He lives in Baltimore, like it's an hour away.
Probably word to a game, and then it was just like, yeah, that's what happened.
He says it has a stain on it. I never realized it, but unfortunately, I cut the tags off.
It was ketchup from the hot dog I got at the game.
Yeah. So I look at my pictures. I got close-ups of the pictures, and there's 0 stains on it. So I'm like, dude, I'll take it back, but you're not getting near your amount of money back because first he cut the tags off.
Now, do you do the free returns?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
But for some reason,
at least you can give him half his money or whatever.
For some reason, eBay did not automatically approve it, though. I don't know why. I cannot figure that out.
That's weird.
I'm just reading. I got to send him a message. I don't know how I'm going to word it. He's like, I'll pay for shipping back if you're amenable to that. I'm like, good luck. If you cut the tags off, I mean, it's right in the policy, literally in the policy of eBay about the return. If you cut the tags off, it's on you.
Yeah. They got me on a new, what was it I sold? I sold, it was a hub. It was a USB hub. So it was like a 7-port USB hub for, like PC or whatever. It was new in package. And the guy had it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and all of a sudden it quit working. He opened the return thing, and I was like, hey, I said, I don't take returns on new sealed items. And I said, it clearly states it in my thing. eBay sided with them. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I go, he's had this thing for 3 weeks. He just said one of the ports quit working on it or whatever, and I'm like, going, how the hell is this? And I'm like, it clearly states that. I go, I don't take on new seal. I go, it's not new sealed anymore. And I go, if anything, I go, it should be the 1-year warranty that the company provides. You know what I'm saying? Not me. I go, I shouldn't have to, take and eat this. But they ended up siding with him, and I was like, I wasn't into it for anything. It was a thrift store find or whatever. But I bought like 7 of these things, and I thought about just sending the guy another one, but I was just like, just. When he wrote me and the way everything was, it's like, I'm just going to have a problem with this dude anyway. So I was like, I'm not going to send him another one. It was just one of them rare instances where I had multiples of the item. But
usually I've had that happen twice, and both times eBay paid the person themselves, and I kept my money, and the person kept the product. I called eBay both times. I think that's really in their policy, in their policy.
But you can also do the partial refund if they try and return it in a non-new condition again, right?
Well, that's what I thought you could do, but this was before I was doing free returns too. So
right. I think I've only had it happen once. I had little whatever the exercise tickers, the pedometer, and the person got it and said it only the clock worked on it, and it was new in package. It was it wasn't anything that any way that it could have been opened up and resealed. And
now, if any of you guys actually had to do like you guys all offer the free returns, if any of you guys actually had to do one of those cases where you did give them like half their money or whatever?
That's what I did with this one item.
Okay. Now, do you have to like give them a reason why you're only going to give them, or how do you determine the amount that you're going to give them back?
I called eBay on that in that situation. It's been a while back, so I don't remember how exactly what happened.
Right.
They said you can give up to a certain amount. I
think it's up to like 50%, isn't it?
I think it was something like that.
Right.
And I think that I just went, and that was the maximum that you were required.
Right.
And I think that's what I did, was right at 50%. I wasn't. It was a low dollar item. It wasn't going to kill me.
You're just giving you half your money back, and the wonderful part about that is if they get mad and they leave you negative feedback, you can get it removed.
Yeah.
I know that's horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's horrible, but at the same time, because I know it would haunt me up if I sent something back, especially if it was legit. You know what I mean? But most of the times, at least with the free returns, I think people are more apt to be honest about why they're returning it, because it's like, oh, okay, it's free. It really doesn't matter. So, but
I had it on a pair of shoes, high-end shoes. I wasn't paying attention. It only had a European size on it, no US, because it was from Europe, and it was late at night. So US size 8. It was a European size 8, which is a way smaller shoe than a US 8. Right. And the guy bought it, and he got it, and he's like, there's no way I can get my feet in these things. And he goes, it's a European size 8. And I was like, son of a bitch, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to return it, it's all good.
Yeah. that I totally get. I mean, but you
Well,
know, he was
right?
cool with it, right?
But he said his younger brother might fit the size and blah blah blah. And I kind of sound like, well, listen, if they fit your younger brother and he wants them, let me know. And because he already opened a return, I was like, I'll just refund you half of it and you can keep it. Because same thing, $3 at the Goodwill for the shoes. It's an $80 sale. I don't care, whatever, $40 for them in the end.
Right.
Took the half return and was happy. Like
Max Hustle has a good question in the chat. Says, I have a question. If you offer free returns and a buyer decides to return a heavier item UPS overnight, how do you enjoy that, Bill? Selling a good number of like combo units and stuff like that. You know, if I'm going to end up with a return, a lot of times I'll say just keep it and I'll refund you. You know, because you're gonna eat up tons of money having it shipped back.
Right.
Or sometimes it's just a cheap sale. Like I've had a couple with $10 sales. They might even be lying to you. Like, oh, I got this and it didn't work. And
right.
You know,
I don't know. Would it let them do though? Like, will it let them do shipping outside of what you chose? You know what I'm saying?
If they do it outside of what you're, you know, doing it through eBay, then they would be up for whatever that cost would be.
Right, but that would be on them, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So that would, but because I would assume that, you know, I mean, if you sent something that was, you know, $3 and a padded flat rate, it's probably not going to let them have any other option than to send it priority. You know what I'm saying? Priority.
Through the eBay, it's just going to give you the same option that you shipped it to them, right?
Yeah, that's what I would assume. I would assume that it's not going to let them do, you know, like I said, you know, UPS overnight or FedEx next day air or whatever, you know, it's going to cost me $30 to get this $4 shirt back that, you know, costs $4 to get there. Yeah.
Mac,
oh my God, that'd be a way to really screw somebody, wouldn't it? Oh.
Yeah, Max says he's had eBay automate the return process, and personally, that's why I've chosen not to do that. Because I want a little bit of control over that type of situation.
Right.
I mean, I don't get that. My return rate's relatively low.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I only have free returns on first class stuff anyway, so it's, you know, I'm not trying to do free returns on combo units.
I've been lucky with those CRT monitors and big pieces. I haven't had anyone want to return any of them yet. Thank God.
Just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah. Because you know they're not going to pack it up the same either. You're going to get it back destroyed, something like that. So.
They're going to pack it up like Amazon does their returns.
Oh.
So in the chat here, just kind of reading through the chat, it looks like what a lot of people are doing is whenever they do a return like that on something that was a free shipping, it looks like most people are contacting eBay, and then eBay's kind of giving them a direction on what to offer. So it's
yeah. So what does it cost to ship those CRT monitors, Joy?
Depends where it's going. If it's within province, I can ship it for about $18 to $21. If it's going across Canada, it's around the $35, $40 mark. Just over the border, I'm around $20, $25. If it's going to go all the way down towards Florida, Texas type deal, then I'm getting into about $40, $45 shipping.
And that's Canadian dollars, right?
Canadian dollars, yeah.
Which is money anyway.
They're selling for anywhere from about 125 Canadian all the way up to about 275 Canadian. It just depends on the monitor. If you find some older like broadcast monitors, like the Sony BVMs, PVMs, NEC made some too, where they got the not RGB on the back, the B&C cables. You see them on a lot of security devices too. Some of those can go all the way up to $2,000 if you find the right with sales.
Wow.
Quick. So I can probably
I had an old 21-inch NEC that had the B&C connections on the back. They were studio quality monitors.
Oh no, you want to see how much these things go for now?
It's been years. I probably got rid of it 10 years ago.
Well, they weren't worth anything for a while there, but then a lot of professional gamers like to use them because there's no lag on the CRTs.
Right.
So that's kind of a big. Well, there you go. I can screen share this. Here is like a holy grail of CRTs to find if you can ever find one.
Just don't put up there the one that I had, and we'll be okay.
I hope this isn't the one. Can you guys see it? An XP 2990. This one's sold for $2,200 US.
God,
that's insane.
Yeah, but it makes if you're into retro gaming, you won't get a better picture than something like this. So.
Yeah, it wasn't it. It was a.
Wow.
Or even just like
it wasn't no like Trinitron stuff with Sony, was it?
Well, yeah, there's like the Sony PVMs, BVMs, that's just an upgrade kit. Like the TVs there's 30 watching, that's 1,700. I can go to completed. Like there's 96 completed, none of that 96. I bet you a lot of them is sold. Like there's, $1,900, $600 for a little 20 FU. That'll be a little 17-inch one. So 600 for 20-inch. They're good to watch for. If you guys ever see them, they look like TVs for people that don't know, but just more industrial, and they're really long. Whoops, compared to a regular old CRT TV. There's a sideways look. There you go. They usually have handles on them like that. And
yeah, I had a buddy that had a Commodore 64 monitor that had fit that mold.
Even the Commodores, like the 1702s, you can get about $200 for those. I got a few of them.
And that was a Commodore.
I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but am I still screen sharing or am I out of the screen share now? No, I'm still screen sharing. There we go. So like even kind of far corner, that one right there, that one is a 1084S Commodore monitor. It's worth a couple $100 because it's got the RGB options. So.
Hey guys, how do you get? I hate these questions. I'm just curious how you guys take and handle these, because I'm sure you guys probably get them on things occasionally. When you get the people that take in, like, okay, so I just got a message on a item, and maybe I see Tom pop back in here. When you get the hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, how do you rate your item? Like especially I hate those questions because it's so subjective. Because because my 8 and your 8 could be two completely different things. You know what I mean? I just
look at the damn picture in my description.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, literally, like, I got good afternoon says on a scale of 10, blah, 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 blah. And this is great looking jacket. It's like, well, if it's great looking, I would assume it's probably an 8 to a 10. I don't know how to put that any better than, I mean, I don't know. I should just remember it's a 5. But yeah, I hate answering those questions because, they're so subjective.
You said it was a 10, but your 10 and their 10 is two different things.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I mean, it's so subjective. And, I mean, I don't want to respond with an 8 because now I feel like I need to undervalue it because of what my opinion of it is and what theirs is. They're probably going to be two completely different things. So exactly. I got to under promise now and hopefully over deliver. But God, I hate those questions. Yeah. I got one of those last week too on a pair of shoes. On a 1 to 10, where do you rate these shoes? 10 being, I'm like, oh my God, how about don't buy them? How about if you're that worried, just don't buy them.
Or if I offer free returns, just buy them. If you don't like them, send them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's the last thing I'm gonna say.
My last Amazon returns, I had a book. They returned it. The reason for returning it was Reddit, and I've had 3 DVDs returned to me now. And the reason for returning the DVDs is watch them.
Wow.
I opened up claims with Amazon, and they said, at this time, there's nothing we can, it's just the auto response bullshit.
Right.
So
but reason for return, watched it. I'm like, well, that's not really a good reason, but I guess.
Yeah, that's the scary part. I'm ungated in a lot of high-end clothes. I'm petrified to send them into Amazon because they can wear them for a wedding and send them back. Or
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, I can't even believe I want to admit this. Honestly, we got a wedding coming up, and I have to wear cowboy boots. I wear a size 15. I don't own cowboy boots. I have no use to ever wear cowboy boots. And that was the first thing I told my wife. I was like, you know what? I go, I wonder if I can get cowboy boots off of Amazon. I'll just wear them to the wedding and return. Because I go, I'm going to spend $200 on these freaking boots. I'm going to wear for a couple hours. That's it.
Yep.
And I go, what if one of the tuck shops in town will rent boots? And so we called around and I couldn't get that. So yeah, I mean, that's literally now my eyes like, oh, man, I go, I don't want to be that guy, but I go, I know that's what everybody does and they're not going to question it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I haven't done that yet, people. So don't go hating on me right now.
Your selling experience has finally paid off.
Yeah, right. It's just like, man, I go, I know what, yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, it did cross my mind, and I was like, man, I go, I wonder if Amazon has cowboy boots I can order. Yeah, because I mean, and that was like, I told her, my wife, I was like, I can't just walk into a store and go buy 15s or and probably in boots I'm gonna have to wear a 16. I mean, I'm a big, I'm a big guy, so it's and I can't go in a thrift store, and get lucky and even, find a pair of boots that I could even, hopefully, touch up or that would be nice enough that I could even make work, you know what I mean? But Yeah,
You're
really.
my happy customer because I buy. When I go into Burlington and Ross, that's what I look for, like monster sizes. They have tons.
Yeah.
Not cowboy boots though.
No.
Lower end brand stuff, I find if it's just some ludicrous size, I still do okay off it.
And they clearance it out. Like I have a pair of Jordan, like up there, Jordan Flyknit 2s, and they're the Michigan Wolverines colorway. They have the Michigan Wolverine logo and everything, and I got them for $4.99, brand new. And I'll just sit on them until they sell. I don't care if it takes years.
Right. Because it's going to take that one person to find them. But yeah, there's no need to undervalue them because there's
18, I think. 18, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I sent John a Cincinnati Picker thing because we had a whole bunch of really big sizes. I think they were all like 15 through 18 Adidas metal baseball cleats, all brand new and showed up at my local Goodwill, and they were all like $10 a pair. And I was like, man, it seems high. And so I sent John a message right away while I was in the thrift. I was like, John, I go, we got all these like things at my local Goodwill. They just showed up. I said, what do you think? And he goes, they're metal. He goes, not for $10. He goes, if you can get them for $5, maybe. But he goes, metal spikes, cleats, whatever. He goes, they're illegal. Or, you can't use them. And I'm like, and I go, yeah, it's probably a good idea. But yeah, they were all those big sizes, they were newer tags. And I was like, man, I go, and the thing is, always like some of them cleats are actually not even worth like a whole lot of money. I think they were only going for like in like that $30 range shipped. And I was like, yeah, that's a lot of money to put out to get that little bit back. And then on something that's, probably, going to
because you can get them cheaper than that in Ross and Burlington without the box and ship them in a poly bag. And they'll clearance them out to $2, $5 all the time. They start at $16.99 when they come in, and they'll clearance them down to $5.
You source Ross and Burlington a lot for shoes?
A whole lot.
Really?
A whole lot. Yeah.
See, the closest ones of those to me are an hour away in either direction.
How about TJ Maxx and Marshalls?
Same hour. Anything big box, any kind of big box store at all is an hour. Yeah, I don't have anything that's remotely close to me.
It's worth it to take a day trip.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
I have seen some really good stuff in Ross. I've almost bought. I found some really good Under Armour stuff, really cheap. New with tags. But
Ross is Under Armour new with tags. Burlington is Oakley new with tags.
Really, Oakley does really well.
I have a $300 Oakley coat up there, $190 Oakley coat up there. They go and I wait till they clearance them out because I know when they're going to do it. It's just you can time it and you get them for. Most of the time I'll pull it when I get to 29, like 29. Right. They'll start at 59, then go to 49, and then go to yellow tag at like 29.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, $30 for a $300 coat.
No, but I get a lot of Peter Millar new with tags and TJ Maxx, Marshalls.
Really?
A lot, yeah. I have a couple $800 coats I got in there, and I sold for $300 the next day on Posh.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then I have a lot. I love Peter Millar for some reason. I don't know why. I just pick up all his stuff.
Yeah, this blazer. The blazers do really well, and obviously the polo shirts. But I can't give away a dress shirt.
Really? Yeah,
I think I have in my inventory. I don't think I have it on Poshmark, but I think it's on eBay. I might even be on Poshmark. I got a Peter Millar sweater new with tags. But I've got it for around like $80 or something like that. But yeah, I still have it, and I got best offer on eBay, and I think even on obviously Poshmark you get offers on there. But yeah, I got it's crickets.
Yeah,
but it's like a 200 and I think it was like a $214. Like I don't know if I don't think it might be cashmere. It's cashmere or wool or something like. It's not like a cotton. You know what I'm saying? Sweater. So it's a nicer, higher end one. But yeah, I got nothing on that.
Every spring we get a good abundance of snowmobile and snowboard stuff here because we got a couple mountains near us. Well, mountains might be a bit of a overstretch for what they are, but we got them here. And every spring I seem to do pretty good finding that. I sit on it till the next year.
I'm going to tell you, you don't even got to sit on it. I buy snow boots. Every time I find snow boots in Burlington or thrift store, I found 2 brand new Adidas snow boots last year. I paid 29 or I believe it was 29 or 39 for them, and someone in Switzerland bought them through GSP for $250 the next day.
Wow.
And Then I found some Burtons, and they were a little harder to sell used. They were small size as well. I found them in a thrift store for $10, and I sold them for like 80 or 90, I think.
I do really well with the Burton jacket.
But Burton makes low end cheap stuff too. You can go either side with Burton. Like even snowboards, there's $1,500 Burton snowboards, but then there's also $99.99 special Burton snowboards. So it's just because it's Burton, I find it doesn't always seem to mean it's a big name. But
if you get their dry ride stuff, that stuff tends to do really, really well. Yeah. Usually that stuff goes almost immediately for me whenever I've run across that.
I paid $175 for a heated Ski-Doo snowmobile suit at the Goodwill. They had a premium on her, $175, but I got $400 for it locally within 2 weeks. Wow. It was everything. It was the pants, the suit, the boots, the gloves. They all zip up and plug into each other, and then you plug your suit into your snowmobile so that you got a heated suit as you're riding around. I didn't have the helmet with it because you can plug your helmet into it too and heat your helmet if you want.
Or like stores, like is stuff just generally expensive in Canada, like for that kind of stuff, like even off brands or?
Actually, Ski-Doo stuff, because it's a Canadian company, is actually I find a lot cheaper here. I hop online and look at Ski-Doo, and it's like if it's coming out of the States, it always seems to be like 30% more than it is here. With Burton, I find that stuff all the time. It's a good price. Like I can go into Sorts for Sports or a couple used sports stores here, and I can get a Burton coat for $50 and a nice set of Burton bindings for $100 and things like that, and it does pretty good. Maybe just because we have, a lot of northern U.S. states would have a lot of snow too, but we stay cold for a while, so the clothing market's decent here for the cold stuff. And Mother's Mustache, a heated snowmobile suit you'd think is an amazing thing, but honestly, you get so hot in just a regular suit from throwing that sled around, you do not need it heated unless you're just like real slow trail riding, doing like a 3 or 4 day trek. But I end up with the coat open half the time, bombing around in the fields when it's minus 15 out just to let the cold air blow through you, because you get really hot on those things.
We don't see a lot of that down here.
No.
I'm in Alabama. I'm southern, you guys.
Well, I guess not. All you heard out here last night at 10 o'clock at night is just sleds in the distance, just bam, bam, all over. So 40 here.
We don't even have hill here. We have like 0 hills in Delaware. It's flat, total flat.
We don't have a lot. Like the closest ski hill from us, they call the Bowler Bump, because you ride down the whole hill in 20 minutes. You're at the end, if that. So it's not big at all. But then you get into Toronto, they have Blue Mountain, and you're half day going down some of those hills. It's nothing like going out to BC and snowboarding down an actual mountain. Sledding out here is fun though. It's a big thing out here. There's the trails everywhere. Almost everyone owns a sled around here.
The vintage Ski-Doo stuff should do really well, doesn't it, Jory?
Amazingly good. Ski-Doo, like
I actually have a guy that I work with. He's anytime you find any of that stuff, if you're out, he goes, let me know. Yeah. And I actually found a really nice old Articat vintage full snowsuit, gloves, everything. The summer when I was out, but the guy wanted like $300 for every. And I mean, it was in really, really. But I was like, man, I just don't think there's any room left on that. You know what I mean? But it was an amazing find. And then the guy walked up, and while I was kind of there, and he rode. And I think the guy ended up letting it go for like 2.5. He ended up selling to the guy that walked up. He was like, "Oh my God!" He goes, "You just don't find this stuff. You don't find it." And I mean, it was just, it was really, really cool. But yeah, that old vintage stuff was good.
There's clubs here that are just retro sleds.
Full
just
retro,
like, right? They all meet up on a Saturday, and there's 40 of these vintage sleds. They go for a tour.
Actually, I think on my Instagram, I mean, it's got to be like real. One of my first photos on Instagram. I think I actually have a picture of a really old Ski-Doo helmet that I picked up, and I sold it super quick, and it went for some pretty decent money.
At the antique mall, speaking of helmets, we just had a helmet come in that I think I'm going to buy on Wednesday. It's the exact same style helmet that Super Dave Osborne used to wear, and he just recently died too.
Nice, and he just passed too, didn't he?
And it's like, it looks exactly like his helmet. There's nothing on there that says Super Dave, but it's the helmet he would have worn. So it's pretty cool.
Those old helmet. Well, actually, in my last sales update, that one that I think they had the 100. It was one of my last ones I just did. But I had an old Arthur Fulmer helmet. It was like with all the metal flake paint in it, open face, and I think that went for like $100 and a half, 150, 160 bucks. I mean, it was really, really cool. I even sent it to Glenn. I know he's not on here right now, but when I found it, I sent it to Glenn. Glenn, I go, check out this old ass helmet I got. I go, what do you think? And he goes, yeah, that's a really good one. He goes, you'll do well with that. And I picked that thing up for like $5. That was like, I mean, when I see that, I couldn't get money out fast enough for that thing.
I bought a Harley Davidson snowmobile once from a little town. Got it for $600. This is going back when people still looked in paper ads for things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Like there was Kijiji and stuff that was just catching on. I was reading through something called the Triad, and it was 1978, I think, Harley Davidson snowmobile. Went and bought it for $600, and a guy pulled into the gas station that I pulled into to get gas, and he said, "I've been following you for 25 minutes." I was like, I just bought it. I don't want to sell it and this and that. And he ended up going, I'll give you $2,000. I'll go to the ATM right now. We can load it into my truck. And I said, sure. You know what? It's fine.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
He did. He went in, we backed the trucks up. So the tailgates basically touched, and we just slid it right over into his. He strapped it down, and he's a big, burly, bearded guy. Was driving a Harley Davidson edition F-150. So he wanted it.
That's awesome. I didn't even know Harley made snowmobiles. I know they make golf carts and stuff like that.
So, and then I owned a couple John Deere snowmobiles. They did really good.
Oh, yeah.
Evinrude made sleds for a while. If you can find a running Evinrude, you have a very rare sled because they're air cooled, but they put no vents on the hoods or the underbelly. So you'd ride these things and they'd all overheat because there's no airflow underneath the hood.
Wow.
People got around it by literally just cutting basically speed holes into the hoods of these things. But yeah, the old Evinrudes did good.
Wow. Yeah, I got a guy, one of the guys I work with, he flips old retro sleds and stuff like that. That's like his thing. He does John Deere. He picks up John Deere, like old John Deere tractors, and his dad, he's retired, so his dad likes to restore them and get them going. So like the garden tractors and what have you, but the actual the good John Deeres, and then not the Home Depot ones, and then he picks up old snowmobiles and then he'll put them on Craigslist and stuff like that. And he flips these things for just some silly money. And I'm like, dude, he goes, I got people come down from Wisconsin. I live in Illinois, but we get people come down from Wisconsin and Minnesota all the time. And yeah, it's those like retro clubs and stuff like that. He goes, I can't keep them. He goes, they come and they scoop these these things up. But yeah, them old barn fine sleds and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
like these old classic cars too. People will travel really far to get them, or even just the parts sometimes because you don't see them as much.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how vintage four-wheelers are here. Like I have some vintage two-stroke four-wheelers in my garage. Oh my god.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
Outrageous.
The old Honda big red three-wheelers, if you've ever found
the machines.
So dangerous to ride. I ran my leg over.
I about tore my leg off, man, with one of those. Mine went underneath the rear wheel. I was jumping ditches. Like an idiot. I was jumping ditches with that thing. These are the most unstable pieces of equipment to jump in.
I was pissed drunk doing catwalks with it and donuts, and I slipped off the foot peg. Same thing. My foot went right under the wheel. You're holding the throttle. So it pulls you under, and you end up squeezing the throttle tighter, and the tire spinning on your leg. And
yeah, dude, chew my whole calf up and everything else. Oh yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, it hurt the knee a bit. My knee swelled up pretty good from it. Didn't realize till the next morning, so I was drinking. Holy shit, you see that? And so
the Honda 250R, the two-stroke, and the 250R three-wheeler, they're going for a fortune now.
They go for good.
Oh man, like $5,000, $6,000.
My buddy's a farmer, and he was emptying stuff out of his grandpa's barn. And one of the things in the scrap pile was an old 1960s Honda scooter, like the moped ones you pedal to start up. And I go, "Is this a scrap pile?" Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? It's just old shit. Because he's a farmer, he don't know any better. So I'm pulling this thing out, and he goes, "What's it worth?" And I was like, "If you want to get $500 for it, I'll have it gone in 10 minutes." I was like, "It'll just be gone." Sure as shit, it was gone $450, and he was throwing out horseshoes and stuff. And he goes, "People want this?" And I was like, "Yeah." Put a bucket of horseshoes in my antique mall at $5 a piece, and people are just 2-3 at a time scooping them out. It's crazy what these farmers think is just scrap sometimes. You got old lanterns in the pile and just all sorts.
But those guys aren't the ones that are sitting around all day watching, hangouts and stuff like this. And they're not hanging. They don't care. Yeah.
No, they don't care. He didn't care. He had a set of the Rally Sport Corvette rims, you know, the real nice.
Yeah.
In the scrap pile, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll get $20 a piece for them aluminum scrap." And I'm like, "Oh my god, give me your fucking rims!" And loading them up in the truck, and so he calls me now because the very first time we did it, I showed back up with $1,000 cash. He goes, "What's this?" I'm like, "This is a little less than half of what I made off your stuff in like a week." Really? Wow. I'm gonna call you every time we're going through these barns.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the best thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You grease somebody's palm a little bit. He had no, you know, he never expected you to give him any money, and now you've got a hookup. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then, well, same with my e-waste guy. Tried pulling a fast one and wanted more money for some of his stuff because he started watching that Tech Hunter show on Discovery Channel. I've been watching this Tech Hunters. I said, fine, go open up an eBay, Amazon account, start cleaning all your electronics, fixing them, listing them. Well, about a month later, he calls me. He goes, "I've had so many fucking no-shows, and I don't have time for this." Right.
Oh, so yeah, you thought it was easy.
For cheap, I'll buy whole skids off you, and I'll get it out of your way, or you can try and piece it all together and sell it bit by bit. And he gave up pretty quick on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it don't take long. You know, I think a lot of people think, you know, have the misconception of how easy this is or whatever, and it's, you know, it's work, it's a job.
It is. Yeah, you have some free time, and you can kind of, it's fun to go around and buy, but like that's why people get all worried. Oh, you're going to make the market saturated. You're telling everyone to buy. I go, no, I'm not, because half the people listening aren't going to get up.
They're never going out there. They're never going out there.
Sales. They're not. Or they're going to make that big buy, then they're going to be overwhelmed with listing it, and they're going to give up. Or
and that's what tends to happen is they get so overwhelmed. Yeah, buying is the fun part. I mean,
it's easy to do.
Yeah, that's the easy part. But it's the cleaning, the prepping, the listing, and all the other, you know, the research and everything else. You know, that's the part that's where the job comes in. You know, I'll buy crap all day long, but yeah, get it when it comes to listing and doing all that other stuff. No, I mean,
we had a guy come into our antique mall, and he was buying a whole bunch of stuff and asking for certain things, and he was explaining what he does, and he had a card. He's literally a buyer for a couple rich people.
Nice.
Want certain things for their house, like, oh, I want a period correct whatever, and he's
like a personal shopper.
Yeah, basically. I go, that's probably a pretty fun job to have. Here's your budget. Here's what I need. Go make it happen. Like, okay. Yeah, so he travels all over the place.
Yeah. Y'all gonna be on for a while, guys? I gotta run a couple errands.
Oh, what time is it? It's about 2:30. How long have we been on, guys?
Long time, I think.
Yeah, I was actually just looking as I go, and I think I may end up wrapping this up because I got to get a couple things done. And man, the wife's got something cooking upstairs. It smells amazing. So I don't know what she's up to, but it smells amazing. So
people saying I have a Montana accent. I guess Montana is like a Canadian U.S. state, kind of. Where's Lauren? Lauren's from Montana.
You're like more Maine-ish to me, which makes sense.
Is that where Lauren's from?
That are farmers because they got the real hard Canadian accent, and they can put it on too. Like when we were in Michigan, they were just having fun when we were at the Speedway talking to people. Where are you from? Oh, you know, we're fucking Canada up there, eh? And we're having a couple bags of milk, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Just looking at it. Is that how you actually talk? Yeah.
Oh,
the redneck Canadian talks that way.
I forgot all about the bags of milk.
Bobby Orr drank bags of milk. Yeah, no boxes of milk here, just bags.
No bags of milk. Yeah, that was hilarious that night. I remember, you broke those out. We were all like, "What?"
Yeah. And yeah, bags of milk. That's kind of the one unique thing about us, I guess.
That's too funny. All right, guys. I'll tell you what, we'll go for about another 7 minutes. We'll end this about 2:30. So if any of you guys in the chat go, well, we got 108 people watching right now. That's absolutely bonkers. Man, yeah, appreciate everybody for coming out. If any of you guys have got any last minute questions or anything for anybody on the panel or for, you know, whatever, throw them out there and we'll try to answer them here real quick. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to end this here in about 7 minutes or so. What's that?
I said I apologize. I'm Poshmark cross posting, so.
Well, that's what I got to get going to, because I did get at least some photographs, the remainder of some of my photographs done today, and I got a couple pieces of electronics all cleaned up and tested. I got a CD player that I think it's going to go in. It works and it plays, but it just seemed like it just skipped like something fierce. So it was like every time I touched it, it was like, it's a nice Sony and it's got the anti-skip and stuff like that, but it was like every time I touched it, it skipped. So I was like, I think I'm not going to, that's just a return waiting to happen. So
Shar, just cleaning the laser up a bit.
Yeah, I suppose I could probably give that a shot. might actually
I had
work.
that happen on one
Like I
recently.
said, I mean, it works. It play. I mean, it was. You know, I was playing the CD. And, I mean, the CD is not the best. I mean, it's a little scratched up and what have you, but I mean, it was still playing good. But it was like every time I literally touched the player, though, it was skipping, and I was like, that's a little too much for what it is. So I think I'm just gonna pass on that. We'll just write that off as a loss.
And they're asking a lot of money on Poshmark for like Banana Republic wool coats. Have you ever looked at those?
Yeah, somebody just did. I can't remember who I was watching. Said it's like Banana Republic is like one of those like especially for Poshmark is one of those like underrated brands that like sells amazing, and especially you can find like the oddball stuff. It goes really really good.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a women's wool coat, and I was thinking like, man, this thing's not going to be worth anything.
It probably worth some really good money.
Like $70 to $100 for a used banana, and that's, I mean, J. Crew's the higher end, you know, and that.
See, I do real good with J. Crew on there for the most part on Poshmark.
Yeah.
J. Crew does real honestly, and this you probably already know this or whatever, but you know, pretty much any like when you whenever they have like the style parties or whatever they are, you know, like they always have like those kind of name brand parties. Like they have like the preppy party, which is the J. Crew, the Vineyard Vine. You know, it's like those items when they have the special parties for, those are the ones that do really, really well on there. But I think that's what the people are searching for. You know, so like I kind of try to pay attention to like when they have like the women's stuff, because I don't source women's stuff, but occasionally, you know, I mean, I'll run across something, or if like me and the wife happen to be out, I always like kind of throw little names at her once in a while. It's like, hey, if you happen to see this, grab these, you know what I mean? Or at least, so a lot of times, you know, she'll pick stuff up, and I hate when she does this because she'll be like going, hey, is this a good one? And I'm like, no, don't be doing it. Or, you know, she'll be like, hey, I found the Patagonia. Patagonia's good, right? And I'm like, oh my God, don't be doing that. But every once in a while, you know,
Terrible.
You know, it's just funny.
Patagonia's out of business. Put it back.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, I think probably Patagonia is like the best brand to sell on Poshmark. It sells almost instantly. I don't even list Patagonia on eBay anymore. I just put it on Poshmark and it sells like almost immediately.
I picked up some Tommy Bahama against my better judgment the other day, new with tags they were 3X polos.
Mm-hmm.
They were $8 new with tags. So I was like, you know what?
I have a Tommy Bahama linen 3X shirt, but it's white. That's the only thing. And I've had that thing for probably a year and a half. I need to put it on Poshmark. I think it's like an item I don't have on Poshmark. But yeah, I mean, I've had this thing forever, and I never pick up white. I usually typically try not to pick up white or beige anything. It's just not an eye-catching color, so nobody wants that stuff.
Or
but
photograph as well.
It is. It's horrible.
It sucks taking a picture of anything that's white.
I have a brand new. I found 2 Michael Jackson History Tour T-shirts, new, brand new. They like when I unfolded them, they were stuck together. They had been folded for years, and I found them for $2 a piece, and one of them is tan, and I can't get a picture of it to do it justice.
They're so hard to do. Yeah, you almost got to wait until like it gets like kind of nice out to where like you can photograph it, like if you can lay it onto something outside where you get that really good natural light. But
yeah, the black one photographed well with the ring light, but I couldn't find any good comps on it either. They're all over the place, but I just put it up sky high and take a best offer.
Yeah. Cosmic Thrifter said listening to us is a lot more fun than listening to our coworkers.
My eBay store? Yeah, you can look at my eBay store if you like. It's nothing spectacular, that's for sure. It's called Upping the Game, UPPINGTHEGAME.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing with anybody you watch. If they don't share their store,
yeah,
or
they all, you know, they all got their secret stores and all this and that. You know,
And
I
then-
mean, I get it. You know what I was saying? You know, I get it.
I'm sure
I've
anyone,
seen some things happen to
Yeah.
people, and they've been trolled on their stores. But I mean, for the most part, things are right.
Yeah. Well, and
Like my store.
I'm 99% sure last year, not this November, but the previous November, I'm pretty sure I got trolled pretty bad because I got more returns in a 2-week span on eBay in November here a couple of years ago than I had the entire year put together. I mean, like a significant amount to where like, because like I never challenged returns, and I was pretty transparent about that, like, you know, on the 6-pack and all this and that. We used to always talk about doing returns and whatnot. And it was like, I don't even fine, sure, just send it back. I have nothing into 99% of this stuff. You know, I mean, I just didn't care. And it was like I had a 2-week period. I mean, I got destroyed. Like it, like significantly. Like I never challenged anything. And it got to be where it's like, oh crap! I go, this is like starting to affect me. You know, I mean, you know, I sold enough volume to where it wasn't really a big deal. But then I was getting so much in that short period of time. It was like, oh man, I got to start calling eBay on these things. And I started calling eBay, and they're like, well, yeah. They go, yeah, what's, you know, they said we did notice that there was like this huge spike all of a sudden, and then it just like disappeared. And I was like, I mean, honestly, I probably in a 2-year span, I haven't had as many returns as I did in that 2-week period. And I think that I got kind of, I don't know. I mean, it could be purely coincidental. You know, I mean, and definitely not calling nobody out or anything like that. It was just very, very weird that, you know, something happened like that. But I was like, you know, I was able to absorb it, and it wasn't like a big deal. But you know,
It happens a lot with vintage electronics.
What's that?
It happens a lot with vintage electronics. Sometimes
Oh, sure.
die. Like, you know, I'll list a motherboard like this, and then it sells. I go to test it before I ship it, and it just doesn't post anymore or turn on. I'm going, well, shit, it worked when I set it on the shelf. And those kind of suck because you message the customer about, hey, you know, I tested it before I sent it, and so far it's never got me negative. The odd time that has happened, they're just happy I tested it before sending it to them, and they kind of, oh yeah, it happens with old electronic crap. But and I never had issues sharing my store yet, or Amazon. I didn't share some of my wholesale suppliers on Amazon for a little while.
Right. Well, that makes sense though.
That's different.
I got this by doing. I would look on eBay though more so than Amazon. Just my fear with Amazon is they can return it, they can wear it. They just like Andy said, you can
Well, like
return.
DVDs, I read it, I watched it. That was a valid excuse. They were allowed to return it.
There was like I used to pick up like old, you know, oddball VHS tapes. Like, you know, I'd find a lot of like new sealed, rare, out of print stuff. And I would send them all into Amazon because, man, they were worth like some crazy money. And I was selling like a buttload of them when I was, you know, doing Amazon. And then it was like, I'm getting them all back. Because it was like, you know, these things are, but basically what it was is they're old, out of print. People wanted to watch that movie. You couldn't see it. It wasn't on, you know, Netflix or, you know, whatever. And so they were buying these old movies, they were watching it, and they were just sending them back. And now they were, you know, essentially worthless, or I'd have to sell them on eBay now as watch, but they were, you know, they weren't worth anything of what, you know, they were when I originally sold them on Amazon. But yeah, I used to get a ton of VHS back returns, and it's like, well, you know, I'm not even sending those in anymore, man. It was just, nope, it's not even worth it.
I bet you 10% of my movies are sent back as return.
Yeah.
And I probably send in 500 plus DVDs a month.
Wow. So you're getting 50 back a month.
Yeah, probably about that.
That's insane. That's
Some are
a lot.
missing discs and don't look
Right.
sent in. Some are exactly what I sent. Some are even still sealed.
So you're grandfathered in DVDs then? Or
Yeah, I started doing it. That was one of the first things I did on Amazon was DVDs.
Okay.
And I never
yeah, I only know just a couple people that can do DVDs.
So yeah, DVDs, CDs, VHS, all that stuff I'm good for.
Now, is that just Amazon Canada, or can you do US as well?
I can do US as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow, that's great.
So, like, the only thing
Yeah.
I haven't
because they even
packages to the US though. Not in a long time.
yeah, because they actually even sent all my CDs back. So I mean, because I used to be able to sell CDs on there, and then all of a sudden they restricted it, and then they sent them all back. It's been obviously a little while ago, but
yeah, no, I can still send DVDs, and I get them by the buttload. I have a little note in my booth and at the antique mall. I buy DVDs and CDs, and
nice.
I don't pay much. I pay DVD, and I pay 80 cents a Blu-ray, and same with CDs. I pay like 20 cents for a CD, and people bring in huge buttloads, and I end up paying less than even 20 cents. They're like, I don't know, there's around 500, and I just shoot them some offer, and sure, I was going to donate them. Here you go, and there's not huge margins on it, but you know,
But it all adds up.
it all adds up. It's only a buck or two off each one, but if I keep consistently sending 500 in or more each month, it's okay.
Plus, it helps you get ungated as well, and other stuff. Just being a consistent seller with volume,
exactly.
you could probably sell Nike if you wanted to at this point.
Yeah, there's a few things I can sell that other people still can't. Like some Hasbro stuff. I've seen a lot of people gated on. I can still sell it as collectible. I can't sell Lego as new, but I can sell Lego as used collectible.
Wow. What about like Star Wars and stuff like that?
I mean, I never find Lego. That's one of those things. The odd time, but I'll send it in if I find it. Although Lego does good on eBay too. It doesn't really matter where you're selling that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Legos, loose Legos down here. I need to go through. It's got a bunch. There's a bunch of manuals in there, and minifigs, and all sorts. I gotta go sort through it. But it's just one of those things I don't want to sort through.
Box of Lincoln.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're right.
We got old Lincoln logs.
A monster box I found in my building when I was moving. I forgot I had it. They been there for a couple of years. I looked them up. They're going for money.
Yeah. I was actually telling my wife that the other day, because we actually have some at home, and both my granddaughters actually like to play with them, and she's like, "Hey, keep it." I go, whenever I find them, I go, they're usually like $10 for a cylinder or whatever. I mean, they're in my opinion, that's a lot for some little pieces of wood. You know what I mean?
It's like, I guess it's like Legos though. You need certain pieces to complete. They're selling them like all the little green pieces, like buy like 10 of the logs at a time or something. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Or if you got like the plastic roof pieces, or there's how they got those different oddball, like windows, and there's other oddball pieces for those. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, so don't pass them up, people. That definitely, I had no idea. I just was like, I'm going to throw this away, and I said, well, let me just look real quick, and I was like, wow, there's.
Awesome.
All
right.
The only thing, Don, is you can't do like with Burlington, if you're going to source shoes, do eBay and Poshmark, because Amazon they want boxes with their stuff, and Burlington throws all the boxes out, and Ross throws all the boxes out when they get them in. So
got a dumpster dive and grab the boxes after you buy the shoes.
Yeah, you got it. That's
good luck finding the right one, though.
Yeah, I know, taking through all that.
I work with my Ross and Burlington because they both take good care of me, and I'm like, come on, you got to keep the boxes for me, guys, and they will if they can, but sometimes they're just so busy they can't.
That's cool.
I've been watching the Canadian Tire in my area. It's just like it's kind of like a Walmart in a sense without groceries. They have this huge Star Wars display, and they're these like 6 and 7 foot standing figures. And every day I keep driving by and looking in the window at them, because I know eventually they're going to get rid of those displays and they're going to go right in that dumpster. And that's the day I'm going around back and yanking them out. I'll try not to be a stranger. Now that I don't work Mondays and Tuesdays, I can probably start
That's awesome.
content again. And
Mondays I can join these things and do those, do these, and occasionally on the weekends if the wife's working and I'm not doing nothing, I try to host one. The guys are always good about throwing the love around and what have you. So I know John. I think John started this out this morning and kind of asked if someone was going to do it. And I think Craig was going to, but he was out running around. So I was like, I don't think I'm going anywhere or doing anything today. So I was like, I'll fire one up. I'm not doing the sales up. My sales have been just absolutely horrible the last couple of weeks. I was like, I'm not even doing a sales update today. It's like, I got I'd rather, I'm trying to get work through some of this just old inventory and stuff like that. Like I said, the wife, she kind of asked if I was going to go to Goodwill and stuff like that today. And even yesterday, and I was like, oh no, I need to stay out of the thrift stores. I got plenty of inventory here. I need to get work through. So it doesn't cost me anything to go through my old inventory.
Well, that was my issue too. Like, how do I make videos about selling when I've sold 3 things on eBay this month and like sent Dick home?
I made some decent sales. I've sold a few things, but it's like going, I'm just not putting this together right now.
Here's my 3 sales and my 1 Goodwill item I bought this week because I was in the area.
I'm crushing it. Let me go get my I-8 right now and drive across town.
Yeah. Mine's in the shop right now, getting some warranty work done.
I did. I think one of my, I think it was not my last one, but the one I did before. I I couldn't believe the amount of views I got on that one, but I think it was because I did it as like 100 items that I had sold instead of doing just a regular weekly. I did kind of put it as 100 items that sold on eBay and Poshmark. And I'll tell you what, I got I got about double the views on that one than I do on a normal sales update. I was really, really surprised, but I think it was just, people see that, well, 100 things that sell instead of, and typically a lot of times I'm doing, 50, on a typical week, but it was just, I just threw 100 out there that time. And, because it was like a kind of a big catch up or whatever. And it's like, 100 sounds like a good number. I'll just show 100 items. But it was like, for me, it was like, oh God, this is a lot of freaking things. I go, this is a long video. And I had a lot of people though that were like, oh no, I really like the long video. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen again. I'm like, that's just way too long to be talking about trinkets. You know what I'm saying? It's just, because like every item you got some story to tell with it or whatever. And I'm just one of the people, I tend to kind of, get into it once in a while. It's like, I'll talk more about an item than I probably need to.
I find the soul videos way more intriguing. I don't watch any haul videos. They bore me to tears.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
There's certain people I like to watch haul videos sometimes. I watch Mike's Newfound Pass. I love his haul videos. There's another guy I watch quite a bit, and I see him pop in the chat every once in a while. His name's Cameron, and he's on. God dang it, I can't remember his freaking channel now off the top of my head. I watch him on whenever he does stuff. I really, really like his pickups and his haul videos. Man, for the life of me now, that's going to drive me insane. God. But anyway, I watch his stuff and I watch his sales updates. So those are pretty much about the only two that I really watch hauls of. You know what I mean? Occasionally, I like Paul Cantu's stuff as well. Like every once in a while, like if I'm just, I like watching him when he goes into thrift stores and stuff but his stuff's just funny. A lot of times you never know what that is, but he does find some really cool stuff. He doesn't do sales updates and things like that, but I do like watching his, in the thrift stores and, just items he picks up. His are a lot of fun.
There's another guy I didn't mind watching. I think his name was eBay Kirk. He actually blew up.
Yeah.
The storage units and stuff. Those are interesting to watch.
Yeah. He's really good too.
I would pay good money to follow Ronnie around for a day. And Lonnie, probably. Because you never know what Lonnie's going to say. And Ronnie just, man, I love the way he just, he cracks me up, man. I could watch him all day.
God, it's going to drive me nuts, though. I hate when you get something in your head and you try to think and you just like it's just like right there, and then you just get to the life of you cannot think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I totally remember the guy. I know the guy's name. I mean, I usually comment on his stuff all the time, and now for life of me, I can't think of his stinking channel. It's gonna drive me nuts.
I thought for sure Justin would get in here.
I thought he was gonna. He was gonna for at least a little bit.
Not that he didn't bite.
All right, guys. Well, I'm heading out because I got to pack up some boxes and then I got to go get my son from daycare.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her quits here in just a minute. Dang. See, this is just gonna drive me nuts. I'm just gonna continue finding this guy's freaking channel.
I'm looking too.
He's definitely worth watching. I mean, I watch his. I always watch his sales updates. He does clothes, he does video games, he does books, he does. He just picks up a lot of the same items I do, and that's why I like to, I like to watch his stuff. And God, I know he did a thing too. I don't know, but for the life of me, like I said, I can't find it. And as soon as I log off of here, it'll probably pop right there.
Of course, right away.
Yep, that's how it always is.
I'm always looking for new people.
Flashback finds. That's what it is. Flashback finds. It's called Flashback Finds. Okay. Yeah, the guy's got a really, really good channel. I really enjoy watching. He does a lot of video. He's got a guy that he gets a lot of video game stuff. He gets jerseys from. He's just one of those guys that he usually doesn't show his face very often, but he does great. I really like his haul videos, and his sales updates are always really good. He just sells a lot of. He parts out a lot of stuff too, which is kind of interesting. For he shows a lot of different items, like Cuisinart stuff and bread machine stuff and. So he parts out a lot of different stuff, so it gives you ideas of, it's something you don't see in a lot of sales updates. You know what I'm saying? That people, you know, picking up those sort of items, you know, just things that are worth money, and what have you. I mean, actually, like one of the items, he's probably showed this 3 times. Is like, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like the Harry Potter hardback books. Like if you can get like all 7 books, those things go for like around, I think it's like $70. You know what I mean? And you can usually get those for a couple bucks a piece. I think they're right in that $50 to $70 range. I'm like going, you know, and then they ship media mail. Yeah, he's probably showed those 3 or 4 different times. You know, I was like, you know what, I see them stupid things all the time, and I never pick them up. And it's like going, I need to be picking those up. I mean, and just, you know, build a set. I mean, it's $7. You know, I mean, you see them all the time out there. You know, I mean, in the wild. I go, that's, you know, $70 is a lot of money. What's that?
Hard prints go anywhere from $60 to $100.
Yeah.
No, I don't use any post editing at all. I use just my phone. Like I was trying to show Land Shark Pick earlier. If you have like, can you see this? Can you see that? So say I want to take a picture of that, and I can't see. Did it? See that yellow box that pops up? If you take it and then just slide it up, it'll whiten the background automatically for you. So that's on an iPhone. So if you have good lighting, at least decent lighting, and a good reflective white backdrop, that's all you really need.
Cool. Hey, Don.
But certain colors, I can't. Like that's why I'm picking Andy's brain, because he's got amazing pictures.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I cheat a little bit. I try to do. I thought when I got the background, and I probably have a couple photos that are probably still floating around, especially on eBay. I don't think I don't have any on Poshmark there this way, except for like my shoe photos. You can see like the bricks, but I tried doing that with my clothing, and maybe now that I got this ring light, I might try and do that again, because I'd like to get away from, you know, popping the background. But I know eBay likes the white background. So they say. I think that has something to do with their search, or you know, even like the Google search, that it likes the white background.
The images.
Yeah. So it's like, well, if that's what they like and that's what they want, I should probably stick with it. But yeah, like I said, I don't particularly like to do the post editing, but it you know, it works for me. And like I said, I'm not doing 100 listings a day. So, you know, the couple minutes, I mean, it literally only takes me a couple minutes to take, and, you know, like I said, to crop something, to do an extra crop on something, because I already take them in square mode. But, you know, every once in a while I got to do I just kind of trim them just a little bit to make them where I get the most of whatever the item is in that box. I try to use all the real estate I can, you know, in that box. You mean, you know, instead of having this big, you know, I see a lot of people, you know, when they do their photos and they got this huge white border and, you know, little teeny pictures. Like,
can't see it.
Why didn't you zoom in on that and then make it where it takes up the whole thing, you know? Or, you know, you see the people that actually have the actual phone, you know, rectangle sized photos, and then they have all that wasted real estate. And it's like, I don't understand that. I was like, when it's there, use it. I mean, it's not hard to, you know, I mean, all those people and all these channels and everything else, they're always, you know, they're always saying square mode, 1-to-1, whatever, you know what I mean? It's just, it's super simple. I mean, it's literally a click of a button. But
especially most people now use their phone when they're shopping, so your bigger picture is so much easier. It stands out. Your photos are amazing on Poshmark.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Instagram, you know, I mean, it's square photos. So, I mean, you know, if you're someone that uses Instagram a lot, especially like the younger people and what have you, you know, I mean, I post some things on Instagram every once in a while, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's already set to do that. But yeah, I'd love to get away from, like I said, a little bit of the post editing. I've got it limited down, which it's definitely helped. And the background has definitely helped with, you know, a lot of my stuff, because I used to just do everything against the white poster board, and, you know, that stuff always leaves some yellow tinge. It doesn't matter how good all your stuff is. It's still always got, you'll get to it. Like I just took a picture, you know, like them hats I did. I just took a picture of this on that white, and man, they look great. But I had one picture out of like the 3 or 4 that I did, it still had a little bit of yellowing in it, but like 3 of them looked really, like I could just upload them. I mean, and they would be fine, but I'm so stinking anal, I'll still pop the background on them. You know what I mean? But it's going to take me 3 seconds to take and do that. I mean, it literally takes me, you know, I use that clipping magic. I just run the green on it. I just kind of swipe. So I just put 2 little green dots on there basically, and then the whole white area that shows up on my photo, I just take the little red one and I just kind of just make a circle with it and it just goes boop, and then it's good to go. And I just hit white and it makes it all white and hit save. It takes 2 seconds.
I think doing clothing, you'd want cleaner photos like that to really the colors and everything. Like I can grab $100 video game, and I mean I could throw it on a bed sheet on my bed and take a half.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's not going to matter one bit, right?
One just because it's just what you're selling, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, like I said, for all my hard goods, and like I said, I did some CD players and a couple of cassette players and stuff like that here just a little bit ago. Yeah, I mean, I just throw them up against the background. And like I said, my shoes look great. I think my shoes look great against the brick.
Look great, yeah.
Yeah. My shoes look really, really good. And you know, if there's other stuff I get, but for whatever reason, like I've tried to do my hats like against it, and they look good, but it's just sometimes, you know, like with some hats, you know, like I'll put padding or I'll put stuff in them to kind of shape them to make them where they look really, really nice. So when I use the clipping magic on it, I can actually, because a lot of times like I'll just shove like the Goodwill bags in there or whatever. Well, when I turn the hat around to show like whether it's a snapback or strap, you see the Goodwill bags. Well, when I use clipping magic, I can just pop that right out of there and you don't even see it. So it's like I get that nice shape of the hat still. You know, and so instead of having Goodwill bags all jammed in there, I just hit that and whoop, and it looks perfect. So when I would do that, I couldn't do that with my brick background because then you would see that there was stuff in there and what have you. So it was like I got away one versus doing, you know, the other is. So
I had a hat that was black on the front and white mesh on the back, and it just wreaked havoc trying to get a nice photo of that when it's the white and the black mix, because your white's either overexposed or your black is too goddamn dark. It drove me nuts.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm heading out. Thanks for having me, Andy.
Yeah, definitely, Jory. It was nice catching up with you, man. We haven't seen you for a while,
sure.
so hopefully we can we'll catch up again.
Yeah. Do you have a channel? Does he have a channel?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Check it out.
I'll link it in the description as well. After this is all done processing, it'll probably be a couple hours because it won't let me do anything to it until.
There he is. There's Justin. Finally, we've been calling him out for.
Oh, did Justin just pop in?
Look at him.
He's in the chat. Okay. How you doing, Justin?
See you guys later. Have a good one.
All right.
Later.
Have a good one, Jory.
These guys.
Yeah, Jory's a really good dude, man. It was nice.
Yeah, man, he's awesome. I like his stuff.
Yeah. He's man. That's one dude, man. He knows. It seems like he knows everything about everything. He's just one of those guys. It is not that he's a know-it-all by any means, because he's definitely, you know, but it's just he just has like knowledge on like every single subject that's out there. I mean, he's just a very, very knowledgeable individual.
I try to be like that myself. I love learning about everything, but it's just brain can only comprehend so much.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of one of those guys that something new comes in, then something goes out. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I just lost something.
Yeah, he is. I saw him like tinkering with a computer, and I was like,
hey, Cameron actually just popped in the chat. Cameron just gave you a big shout out, man, just a couple minutes ago. Where were you, buddy? I knew your name, and for the life of me, I just completely blanked on your channel name. So I just told a bunch of people to go check out your channel. We were talking about haul videos and sales updates and blah blah blah. I said I really, really love it. You and basically one other person are about the only people's haul videos I really watch. So, but yeah, you got a lot of good stuff out there. So yeah, flashback finds there, guys. Everybody in the channel. There's 3 little dots next to that guy. Go click on those. You guys can go over to Cameron's channel and subscribe to him. You guys are really, really a very knowledgeable individual. And if any of you guys like my stuff, you know, I mean, you guys will definitely like his stuff. His stuff's he's really good. Hey, no problem, buddy. And you're always welcome on here anytime too, Cameron, man. You know, if you ever want to come on the panel, if we're sitting here talking or we're on my thing or whatever, you know, you're always welcome. I can shoot you a link. It's not a big deal. So
Justin, what's the odds I was right on your mental health day today was your fresh batch of CBD?
Yeah, Yeah, he's going to stay quiet on this. You don't want to incriminate himself.
Yeah, there.
It was nap time. All right, geez, we still got 90 people watching. That's insane. I don't know what did you happen to see what we had for a max at any point?
8, I saw at one point. That was the highest I paid attention.
Yeah, I thought I saw around 112 or whatever. That's just absolutely insane. So cool, Jameson. Yeah, like I said, Cameron's he's got really good videos. Like I said, if you guys like any of my sort of stuff, you guys will definitely like Cameron's. Cameron's really good. I just like the way he explains stuff, the way he shows stuff, and what have you. So, and you're definitely, I learn something every time I watch a show. So, yeah, I'm definitely not a know-it-all by any means, but he just, he just sources, little different things and what have you. So I always learn something from him.
If you were in here, Justin, we'd probably hit 200. He brings the heat, the fire. What's in that fire? Isn't that what you bring?
Fuego. That was so funny. Yeah, when I see that screenshot, I think I don't know if he sent me that like directly or if he shared it like one of our groups. I was like, oh no, what did he do? I mean, I'm at work and I see this. It's like, God, I'm at work. I go, I can't see this when I want to see it. And I was coming home when I started watching that. And I think somebody was like, you got to at least watch the first couple minutes. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there driving and I'm like, oh my God. I go, this is next level. That was so fun.
Oh man, I almost peed myself. He played it live on his show. Did
you see what he just wrote? He goes, y'all are gonna get me shanked.
Oh man, you got any? Yeah, you've got a lot of subscribers out of that. I'm sure you had to. There's no way around it.
That's pretty funny. Thanks, Dawn. Yeah, you guys go check out Dawn. Two Hit Chicks. Check out her channel as well. She was on Justin's channel. She was a special guest on Justin's channel this morning. So, yeah, that was definitely interesting and surprising interview this morning. So,
yeah, I thought it was on the wrong channel at first, and then I was like, oh, Justin's interviewing somebody this morning.
Yeah. He told me he was doing he had a surprise. I thought he goes, hey, I got a surprise guest this morning. I was like, so I assumed Gabby was going to be on because I know he's been trying to get, he's kind of throwing around there trying to get his wife on the show. She'll come around eventually.
She hasn't come in the mail yet, has she?
What's that?
She hasn't come in the mail yet.
Yeah.
That's what everyone.
He's got a He's just photoshopped some photos for.
Yeah, he photoshops it. Hey, El Fuego. There you go.
There you go. Fuego. That's too funny.
Dumbass trolls aren't making it easy.
Yeah. I try not to get too caught up in that, but it just comes with it comes with the territory.
Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly expect my eBay store is going to get flanked now. I'm going to get all kinds of.
You'll get a little bit. It's not, I mean, it's the thing is they want the attention, and as long as you don't give it to them, I mean, I'm just like Justin, everybody else. Every once in a while, someone leaves some stupid comment. But I mean, I have my stuff set to where it doesn't get posted public. There's only very few people that when they post on my channel, it'll go out directly without me having to approve it. And I mean, if you're gonna come on my channel and write something stupid, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. So I mean, just don't waste your time. But yeah, it definitely comes, and I know the bigger you get, the bigger your channel gets. Obviously, it's gonna come as well, but. I'm not out there trying to poke the bear either. So
no, you guys do your thing and that's it. It seems like the only people that have real drama are the ones that are just the ones that want to be all the way up here and they're jealous of anyone.
I have no desire, no inkling to do that. I just like being me. I have no problem being a little guy. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't want to be I mean, if something that some days something goes out and all of a sudden, I mean, something goes viral and things get crazy, that's all fine and dandy. But, it's not, like I said, I'm not making car payments with my YouTube. So it's like, and I'm not counting on that to make car payments. You know what I mean? I think there's some of these guys that are making some substantial money off of YouTube and they're, that's great. I mean, it's another revenue stream, but it's just me personally, I don't need to do that. So that's not why I do YouTube. That's not why I'm on, I'm just here because I just enjoy the camaraderie. I love to learn from other people. I mean, I learned so much from, you know, guys like yourself and all these people in the chat. I mean, the guys that come in the chat, I love, you know, I know there's a lot of people. I mean, we got 90 some people watching now, and there's only just a very small percentage of people that participate. And I appreciate all the people, but there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge out there that will drop something in occasionally. And it's like, oh, I love it. Thank you. You know what I mean? There are a lot of really, really smart people. I learn a lot from, you know, these side chats and stuff like that. So
I like that you do Poshmark as well, because I hope that it keeps drawing more Poshmark people, because there's so much more to learn, I think, that we're missing.
Right.
And I'm like, come on, people, get it, you know, because Lauren's got all the knowledge, but she holds it tight. She don't like to talk.
She's actually really good about
no,
it. If you reach out to her, I mean, I know she's a very busy person like myself. If you reach out to her, she'll be more than happy to help you.
She is awesome. And I just like to joke with her because
she's very good. You know, I mean, she's not going to give away her sourcing locations.
No.
I mean, she will to me because, you know, I'm not a threat to her. You know, I'm not going to be traveling, you know, 8 hours to where she lives to go, you know, go sourcing every day and, you know, and what have you. But, you know, because there are people, like she said, that do the same thing that she does, that live in her area. So she's like, I'm not giving away my secret honey holes, which I don't blame her.
I think she's a cat burglar. That's the only way you find like the items she finds.
Yeah.
She finds some amazing stuff. Amazing.
Was it B-Town Pickers? Says, Andy, how do you change the Poshmark main picture? I want to add pics, but for some reason I cannot. The main picture. Now, are you B-Town Picker? Are you talking about like the banner that goes across, or are you talking about like the first photo that shows up? I want to
like a profile pic.
Oh, okay. You just do that like normal. Like you're going to add a regular photo, like a piece of clothing or whatever. So you just take like your picture of yourself, or your cat, your dog, whatever it is, and then you just do that like normal. But you're going to have to put it into like a category of some sort. So I think like mine, because I think I have. Let me click on mine here real quick, just so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so like I have like a little marches. Well, I have one that like a little card that says like love our items, but you know, or but not our price, make us an offer. I have like a little card like that. So what I do is I just basically uploaded that. I put it in the shirts category, in the dress shirts category, and I tagged it as like Ralph Lauren. I probably should have tagged it as like Patagonia or North Face, because it's probably going to get way more looks or whatever. But I can also share that then during like clothing, you know, parties or like name brand type of parties. But then and then I just list it as not for sale. So instead of I don't put a price on it. I just do it as $0, not for sale. But it's pretty simple. So I hope that answers your question, or if that was what you were going for there. Because yeah, I did like a little title card that just has like my little Marsh's Menswear logo on it. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I'll just make one of those up, and actually I'll use the PicMonkey for that. I'll just import, you know, stuff into PicMonkey, and I can make a nice little square, and then just, you know, put that as one of your actual photos for Poshmark. But then, like I said, just find a category that you think that will get a lot of attention. Like I said, for me, since I mostly do men's stuff, I just put it as like a men's dress. I have all mine set as like men's dress shirts. So, hey, Mr. Sadie,
you guys are crazy.
There he is.
There he is.
I had to come on, man, because y'all know what I was saying.
I was just getting ready to roll out of here too. But I've been saying that though for the last half hour. It's like, we're gonna end this at like 2:30.
No, I was just gonna say
3 o'clock.
I don't care about those knuckleheads. No, what I was saying is
all
that troll stuff is making it hard for Gabby to want to get on the channel.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because she doesn't. She's a super sensitive person, man, and that's the last thing she wants.
Yeah,
to do.
you got develop a tough skin.
Yeah.
He don't have lights on in his workroom. Look, he's like totally taking the day off.
Oh no, man, the lights are off. I got lights on me, so you can see my skin, but that's about it.
His glowing skin.
What have you guys been up to? What's up, Tommy? What's up, Andy?
Hey, not too much. We just actually I got a little bit of prep stuff done. I got some photos taken. Just been doing a lot of BS and hanging out with the peeps.
Nice. Yeah, you've had a good crowd all day, man.
Yeah, I mean it's been pretty much floating in that high mid 80s to low 100s. Pretty much. I don't even know how long we've been on. It's been
dude. I slept for like 2 or 3 hours, and y'all been on already for like an hour.
Yeah, I thought John was coming back on. He just said he was going to run to the post office or run to some store here real quick. But John was coming back in.
John's the master of like dipping in, dipping out, and then you might see him, you might not. You know, he's got so much going on. You know.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
Yeah. But
plus he's got a little one. I don't know if Darcy goes to daycare or not, but so he may be taking care of her a little bit during the day as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that situation is.
Yeah,
Ronnie dipped on us earlier too.
Yeah, Ronnie was in here for a little bit. Honestly, I didn't even think he was going to pop in because I thought he was outsourcing. Because I think he posted a thing in like our little group thing. I thought he was like in front of a thrift store or something like that. He said, yeah,
he was at a Goodwill. I think he must have like came home, jumped on, and then whatever else he got going on. But yeah, I saw him. He was in here for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, if he gets off, you should keep it going, Justin. Now that you're back to work.
Yeah. If you want to take it over, because I'm planning. I was planning on dipping out about a half hour and going, and the next thing I know that it's about another half hour.
Yeah, no, yeah. Feel free to end it whenever, man. I usually end these things around like this time anyway during the day. Okay. I've slept, guys, all day. I haven't done anything, and my sales are reflective of that. I don't think I've sold anything on eBay today. I've sold a few things on Amazon.
Yeah. I've had 2 sales a day, and they're both no pays so far. So
yeah,
it's really honking me off.
Yeah, we'll see. eBay for me this month has been picking up more at night than during the day. It's like dead, and then my sales come at night. So I've gotten where I don't stress it too bad.
That's cool.
But yeah, I just wanted to come on and say hi since I kind of was in my
no, that's cool. Yeah, we appreciate you popping in, and like I said, let me host for a little bit. I don't get to do that too often.
No, man, it's fun to do this stuff.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's just not the same. Like these, like you can watch a replay of this, but let's be honest, if you're not there, you missed it.
What was the last one I did? So it would have been like I think it said Saturday session or Sunday session. It was the last one I did. When we ended, we had like around 500 views, and I looked at that the other day, and I think it was already over 1,000.
Yeah,
it's like 500 people have actually sat and watched this. I was like, I couldn't believe that. It was like, this is crazy.
Yep, that's the way it is, man. The one I did this past week, I think it was Friday's working hangout, is sitting at over 1,000 views now, and like it was at like 600. And that one's gonna be like this one for you. That was like I think that was like 7 hours and 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it was just absolutely nuts. I was like going, who the heck goes back and watches these, 3, 4, 5 hour videos? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is absolutely nuts.
It's amazing, but who would have thought that people would sit there and listen to people eat on,
right,
or snore or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own weird thing that they're into, I guess. And hey, if it's hanging out with us knuckleheads, then by all means, we appreciate each and every one of you that do it. So
yeah. And just because this is kind of the regular crowd, real fast, because I know Andy's getting ready to end it. Lonnie is going to probably be busy the bulk of this week with putting his shed together and everything. So don't expect to see a lot of Lonnie during the working hangouts. Doesn't mean that he's quit him. It just means he's got crap going on. He's got to get that unit, that building put together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Definitely. That was coming in almost pre-assembled though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's like putting in the installation himself.
Right.
And he's wiring it. Like I think he's and all that.
Putting in shelves and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, and he's doing all the electrical work himself.
Climate control.
Yeah.
God, that's gonna be such a game changer for him though to actually have that right on his property instead of having to go out and go get all that stuff. God, that's gonna be huge for him.
Yeah, dude, I'm jealous, to be honest with you. I mean, I would love to have everything back in my, on my property and have it at a storage unit. But
yeah,
cool, man. Well, Andy, thank you so much for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, for popping in, Justin. Yeah, the wife's yelling at me here. Hey. Oh, hang on.
Real fast, since Andy's Andy's predisposed right now. I'm going to thank everybody for coming over to Andy's channel today. Parrot Head Picker. Guys, if you're not subscribed to him for whatever reason, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I know he would appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go and make friends with the like button or the dislike button. It really doesn't matter. Either one will help him out.
I'm one of them dudes. I don't care which one you hit. Each one equates equally on YouTube. So it really doesn't matter.
but yeah, and Andy, I'll pass it on to you now that you're not on mute.
that was why I figured it was good about time. And man, it smells so good upstairs. Well, actually, the whole house smells good right now. So yeah, she said dinner's ready. So guess we're eating early today. So anyway, guys, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. And if you guys aren't subscribed to Tommy or Justin or any of these other people, these great people, make sure you guys do so. And you guys definitely go check out Cameron at Flashback Finds. He was in the chat here just a little bit ago, so go check him out as well. But anyway, guys, catch y'all later. We are out.
Bye. Have a good day, Andy.
Great day, everybody.
And